I'm up
All right, Chris. Good morning. Good morning, Facebook.
Hey, good morning to you, David. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you.
Long night last night again for the convention.
Yeah, another long one. I didn't get to bed till very late. But I mean, look, there's a lot to talk about, and it's not even just with the convention. I mean, the governor came out yesterday and had a presser, and I thought there were a couple really well. Look, obviously, the millions of dollars that will go to help schools and whatever, that's big news in and of itself. But the most interesting part of that was when they talked about the ballot initiative to eliminate the 1945 law for governor emergency powers, and her response and answer to that I found to be interesting. So we'll see. I mean, we'll talk about that as well. We saw a sports broadcaster's career crumble last night, which I found, look, you can't be nasty, right? I mean, you can disagree and you cannot whatever, but you can't be nasty. And we saw some nastiness last night. So we'll talk about that as well. Goodyear continues to be in the news, and we'll hit on that as well. So we got a lot to do today, David.
Yeah, it's going to be very busy, and that Tom Brenneman thing with the broadcasting was absolutely nuts. I think you and I both were like, we've never seen somebody saying goodbye for a mistake he made, call a home run, and then just leave and just
in the middle of an apology video for using a homophobic slur.
He calls a Nick Castellanos
home run. I've never seen anything like that.
That's pretty impressive.
I've seen a lot of things in sports, but I've never seen something like that.
Yeah, got to be careful. Number one, obviously, there's no reason to be mean. And number two, what's the first rule you learn in broadcasting? Be careful around a mic. You never know when it's
microphone's
open.
Always hot.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, yeah, crazy story with Tom Brenneman. So we'll see what happens in the coming days, if indeed his career is over or not. Should be very interesting. Here we come.
Marked the medical field. We've come to accept these two fallacies, but the fact is that heart attack and stroke are 100% preventable, and cardiac disease is reversible. It's not in the genes, it's in your profile. It's time to take charge of your health. Call Dr. Brian Collender at 248-737-0091.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now, in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
Oh, my goodness. What another convention night, eh? Oh, my goodness. Well, in terms of entertainment, it was it was the most entertaining night that we had. And lots of speakers. Nancy Pelosi was there. Obviously, Kamala Harris closed it out and basically just recycled her speech that she used when she was introduced just a few days ago. I mean, I was my wife and I were watching, and I'm like, okay, so here we go. So she knew Beau Biden. That's how she came to know Joe, and Joe would always be there for breakfast, and they would have breakfast together, and then he would get on the train and go to Washington, D.C., and then he'd always be home in time for dinner. I mean, like, it was literally the exact same speech. And she added some other things. But when you're accepting the nomination and just being announced as the running mate, those are two very different things. I was a little surprised to see that, but we'll get into more of that. But the Democrats finally decided to unleash their weapon on night 3. And it was vintage Obama. I mean, look, again, say what you will about the guy. And policy discussion is a completely different topic. But that dude can talk. That dude can speak. He's got conviction. He can be very believable. I mean, dropping lines like, what we do the next 76 days will echo for generations to come. I mean, what a line. But look, here's the thing. Obama threw on his brass knuckles, and he came for a street fight last night. And it's not something we've ever seen before. A former president, the predecessor of our current president, come out and just start throwing haymakers. He's Mike Tyson out here. It was stunning to see. And, there were those times when, there is that unwritten rule, right? That unwritten rule of you don't go after presidents. If you're a past president, especially the one who was serving and then is now out of office. I mean, it was incredible to watch. And things like, I thought Trump might show some interest in taking the job seriously. He never did. He only wants to help his friends. 170,000 Americans are dead. The reputation around the world is diminished. I mean, it was incredible. I knew that he would come out. I didn't know he would specifically come out and even say his name and even say the words Donald Trump. And look, in terms of things that we've never seen before in this country, in terms of some sort of history being made with Kamala Harris last night being the first African-American and Indian woman nominated for that job in that seat. I don't think she did particularly well, but was completely overshadowed by Barack Obama. And I suppose it was the right time for it. Because, look, tonight we get Joe. And all of Obama's, behind the scenes conversations that he's had with people and really questioning whether or not Joe Biden can actually do this thing. Don't underestimate Joe's ability to bleep this thing up. Well, now we're going to see it. And I believe it's going to be live tonight. I do. Kamala was live. Barack was live. I expect Joe to be live. And if he's not, well, we'll have a different discussion tomorrow. We may have a different discussion anyway. But I was watching the news last night, and apparently there's reports that Joe Biden isn't really even going to talk about the president. Which is great, because I hope he actually tells us what his plan is, how he's going to do some things. He won't. But that's my hope. But I thought Obama was terrific last night. And again, content aside, I mean, he absolutely stole the convention. And think of it like this. Look, look, I told you not to watch this thing because I'll watch it for you and we'll talk about it. But there were so many things that it blows my mind, right? Like they did a whole segment last night on survivors and women of sexual abuse who have come out the other side and are stronger. And obviously they had to deal with something unthinkable. But then they tie that into Joe Biden being such a rock for women and protecting women and all that. And it's like, okay, but you guys completely shut Tara Reade down and her allegations. Joe Biden came out and made a 5-minute statement on it, didn't take questions. I find it to be very hypocritical. And whether or not it's true or whether or not it's false. I mean, there was never anything done with that. They pushed that thing so far under the rug. So I found that to be hypocritical. Climate change got its long-awaited spotlight last night. We have about a decade before it's too late because of man-made climate change. And Joe Biden, in a recorded piece there as part of the package, when I think of climate change, I think of jobs. Jobs? That's the first thing you think of when you think of man-made climate change? Really? Because, I mean, look, Democrats across the country are so infatuated with saving lives due to COVID. You're saving the whole human race. All right, lots more on the convention coming up. We're going to have Newt Gingrich this hour as well. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. At 9:13, let's head on out to the roadways, check things out there with our Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast The Piketon Massacre.
They had snuck in the night and committed these murders.
8 people dead, all from the same family.
We couldn't believe something like that would happen here.
Listen to The Piketon Massacre wherever you get your podcasts.
75 northbound at 9 Mile. That earlier disabled vehicle still there blocking the right shoulder. Disabled vehicle in St. Clair, I-69 eastbound after Wadhams Road. It is blocking the right shoulder. Accident US 23 northbound before Monroe Street blocks the left lane, seeing delays from I-475. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
Sunshine everywhere, maybe a few clouds early to mid-afternoon, and daytime highs will be slightly below average, 77. Tonight, back into the upper 50s, 57 degrees. Suburbs will be cooler. This morning saw some upper 40s to our north. Sunshine tomorrow, 81. Friday, sunshine, 88. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
Imagine if you walked into a car dealership and they only had but that's exactly what most remodeling companies do. They have tunnel vision, meaning they only offer one kind of windows or one kind of roof or one kind of signage.
Hey, Chris.
They are determined.
David, good morning. Mark, good morning. Patrick, good morning. Jim, good morning to you. Todd, hey, what's up? Todd, you think Joe's going to be taped, eh? I don't know. I think that would be a really bad look.
Doesn't he have to be live?
I think he has to be live. If he's taped, I mean, look out. I mean, look, they're already trying to hide him, right? They already don't want him talking to anybody, unless maybe it's Cardi B. That's it. They don't want anybody talking to him. They don't want him answering any questions from anybody. But if he comes out taped tonight, that's a bad look. So we'll see. Oh, look, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say he's gonna be live. Has to be.
I think he'll be live.
He has to be.
Who's been so far? Who's been on tape and who's been live?
Oh, there's been a lot of tape.
Michelle Obama was on tape. Barack Obama was live yesterday, right? He was live, right?
Barack was live, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got to believe that he's got to be live.
No, he'll be live. I believe that. I do.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, you have to remember, I mean, the lengths that not only his campaign, but the party is going to keep him under wraps is pretty extensive. I mean, the fact that they're not allowing any sort of interviews is, I mean, look, you're 75 days out now.
The real question is, will you miss the convention when it's over? Since you've been so invested in it for the past 3 going on 4 days.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. What, are you kidding me?
You won't miss staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning and
No.
And
Well, I
going
mean, I'll be
over
up late, but I'm not
going
I'm
over
not,
everything.
No. I won't miss that at all.
Got it.
Take control of your future now. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation.
No.
Patrick says that he's going to tag me in a tweet that he had sent to Guy Gordon regarding Unlock Michigan.
Yes. So that's what we're going to talk about, Unlock Michigan. Yes, we are. Because Governor Whitmer was adamant about that. And look, she basically said they could be breaking the law when doing this by the way they're gathering signatures.
Right.
I mean, it almost felt to me like she was a little worried about it.
Guess we'll find out.
But we'll talk about that.
All right.
Don't worry. We'll get there.
These include small business support, access to capital, entrepreneur resources, and buyer and supplier matchmaking. Find support today at michiganbusiness.org/pure-partnership. That's michiganbusiness.org/pure-partnership. The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
You know, the other thing I noticed last night, they give out that damn text number so often to donate money or to sign up to vote or whatever. It was like I'm watching the Jerry Lewis telethon here. If you call in now and pledge $250, you'll get this Frisbee. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like, what is this? Is this a convention? Are we talking about your platform, the party, what you guys are going to do? Remember, 37 or whatever it is. I mean, like, come on. Call now and you'll get a free beer koozie. You know, the other thing that I found interesting last night is they were showing, women's suffrage, the 100-year anniversary of that. And they were talking about powerful women in office. And they only showed the Democrats, which, again, is not insane. I mean, you're at the convention for the party, so I don't expect you to start praising Democrats or Republicans, excuse me. But you've got 8 Republican women senators who, well, because they're Republicans, they're not included in this. Right? They're women. They go through the same things that you talk about going through. But they're not mentioned. Also, Billie Eilish. David, hop on with me here for just a moment, real quick. Billie Eilish. Are you aware of this artist? She's a young girl, actually. She's, musically, I mean, whatever. I don't think she's overly talented one way or the other. But I'm wondering, have you heard her stuff before? What do you think of Billie Eilish?
I have heard her stuff. It's okay.
Okay.
I know she's very popular. I know she won a bunch of Grammys.
What is she doing at the convention?
I really
don't. Do you have an answer for me on that? Because I got no idea.
I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, me neither.
Sure. I'm not sure why she's there.
And I'm watching this thing, and I just don't get the draw, right? Right. Like, what's the most unpredictable voter group in the country? It's like young people. It's like 18 to 25, right? I mean, those are the people that you just can't count on. You try to appeal to them, which is exactly what happened last night. But you can't count on them. What is, you could, again, I'm not saying that all of this stuff in here and on that program last night were at all even remotely, I don't know if it's all necessary. But you got to fill 2 hours and you're going to throw Billie Eilish. It was just a strange addition to the program that I thought was unnecessary.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think the whole thing has been very strange and weird. And you even said it at the beginning. Why do they need 4 days to do all this stuff when in the past it's all been done in one day and late into the night? And the whole thing's been weird. And I think you said it, you called it out the first day with all the different video messages. I think you called it propaganda.
Yes.
Was the word you used.
2 hours of propaganda.
So I guess that's what it's just been, for this whole time. It's very interesting.
Then you got Hillary Clinton, right? I wanted to give Donald Trump a chance. I really did. Oh, really? I wish Donald Trump knew how to be a president because we need one right now. This can't be another woulda, shoulda, coulda election. Vote for Planned Parenthood. Vote for police. Vote for Black Lives Matter. Hey, I can win by 3 million votes and still lose. And he can still take it from me, I believe is what she said.
Yeah, she said that she won the popular vote, but did not have enough of the Electoral College to win.
Oh my goodness, I'll tell you, it's gotta be tough, right? When you lose like that and you just can't get over it. I mean, you just can't get over it. It sounded desperate. It sounded phony. I thought she did a terrible job last night.
Well, we all know that being you and I being big sports fans, that sometimes the big losses almost stay with you longer than the great wins.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, look, you got to move past it, and she obviously has not moved past it. Nancy Pelosi came up. Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump are standing in the way. We will increase majority in the House. We will win majority in the Senate and win the White House, Nancy Pelosi says. You know, the other thing I noticed last night, and again, 800-859-0957. You can visibly and audibly hear the difference when they're talking about themselves, right, as a party, or as Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. But as soon as they talk about Donald Trump, when they talk about that, here's what's going to happen. We're going to win control of the Senate. We're going to win the White House. But Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell are standing in the way. But Joe Biden is such an excellent leader. He's got a steady hand and a big heart. Donald Trump. I mean, you could almost hear it. You can see it in their face. I found that to be interesting as well. It felt very fake, very rehearsed. It didn't feel, like Obama gets up there. Again, Obama gets up there and he just goes. It just feels very natural. But everybody else felt very rehearsed, especially if they were taped. Elizabeth Warren says, I love a good plan, and Joe Biden's got a good plan. Really? Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody will tell us. I don't know where you want people to go, you're right, he does have a good plan. What? Nobody knows what his plan is. You people won't tell us what his plan is. It was just, I thought night 3 was the best night of all 3 for the party. And I thought they brought out Barack Obama when they needed him. Here he comes again. But he broke kind of that tradition of leaving the next president alone, leaving the presidents alone. He broke it. It was very unconventional. We haven't seen that in a very, very, very long time. It's kind of like an unwritten rule. You just don't do it. But last night he broke it. And I suppose you could make the argument, look, Donald Trump is not a conventional president, right? He's got his own way about him. He doesn't, people, he doesn't act presidential. Well, what is presidential? This is his way of running the country. So with an unconventional leader now, I suppose you could make the argument for an unconventional rebuttal by a former president. Chris Renwick in for Frank Beckmann this morning. We'll get to your calls coming up here very shortly. But first, coming up, we'll talk to Newt Gingrich about what he thought and of last night, but certainly of the convention thus far, and maybe what we can expect from Joe Biden coming up tonight. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can watch the show there. But at 9:27, let's get an update on our road situation with our Dana Clark. Dana.
This report is sponsored by Everstream, the business-only fiber network. At Everstream, the business-only fiber network, they believe business deserves better. Everstream's full-service approach to business connectivity delivers the speed and reliability that businesses demand. Everstream, faster fiber, better business.
Earlier, disabled vehicle 75 northbound at 11 mile. That is clear from that construction zone. Disabled vehicle in St. Clair still there. I-69 eastbound after Wadhams Road. It is blocking the right shoulder. And an accident along US 23 northbound before Monroe Street blocks the left lane slow from I-475. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Marathon. No matter where your travels take you, Marathon can improve your engine performance with quality top-tier gasoline. Marathon, fueling the American spirit. Sunny 61, currently going up to a nice, comfortable 80 degrees today. Tonight, clear skies, low 63. Friday, kicking off the weekend, sunshine, and a high of 86. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News, with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
The coronavirus has sent shockwaves around the globe, throwing the financial world into
A lot of people on the StreamYard, Chris, thanking you for watching the, so they don't have to watch the DNC, and then you give them all the information.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here for you.
So somebody calling it the DNC video convention.
Yeah, it's all virtual.
You go to SFC.
It's true, it is, but it's just kind of funny the way he said it. It's like he's like, thank Chris for watching the DNC video convention for me, so I don't have to.
Look, I mean, I thought Obama did great. I mean, again, the content was suspect, but I thought he spoke in a lot of generalities, right? He wasn't really attacking certain policies or anything like that, right? It was a lot of just general reasons why President Trump shouldn't be president.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of those, like I said, the classic, just like a line where he just says, what we do the next 76 days will echo for decades to come or generations to come.
Right.
I mean, things like that, like powerful messages that you hear and you go, oh my goodness, this is a big deal.
Do you consider this the biggest election since you've been able to vote?
Yes. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. And I think it's the biggest election. I mean, look, it's hard to say it's the biggest election of all time, but certainly in, the last, I don't even know, it was 50 years. I mean, I really don't know. Because you've got, Kamala Harris has been bandied about in the media as some moderate, right? She's not a moderate. And she's, I believe, according to one poll that was taken, was rated the second furthest left senator currently serving in the United States Senate, only behind Bernie Sanders. I mean, that is an incredible shift to have somebody on the ticket like that. When Joe Biden for a very long time was considered a true moderate. And I think, the more time that has gone on, at least since he's been running this cycle, I think the more he's willing to accept certain ideas and policies that tend to skew further and further left. And so that's where you talk about a dramatic shift from being a Democrat or a Republican to being one side of the spectrum to another.
I wanted to ask you this the other day and I forgot. I wanted to get your thoughts on John Kasich.
What about him?
Just that he's got just his little video that he did for the.
Well, remember, I believe it was John Kasich who was the last one to drop out in the presidential race for Republican back in 2016. Yeah. So He was really fighting tooth and nail to get that spot over Donald Trump and lost, and obviously has been a Trump detractor ever since. And so, I think it's disingenuous for him to say that he doesn't believe that Joe Biden will make a hard turn left. I don't know why. I don't know what would give you that feeling, because, I mean, hell, you got Joe Biden talking to Beto O'Rourke about him being his gun czar. Beto O'Rourke was basically the one who said, we're going to take your guns away. And if you don't voluntarily, it was a buyback program. So the federal government will pay you for your guns. And if you don't voluntarily do it, we're coming to get them. I mean, that is incredibly far left ideology. And so for John Kasich to say, I don't think he's going to go far left. Meanwhile, under the screen, Bernie Sanders coming up next to talk about Joe Biden. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So no, I think John Kasich, I don't know what his angle is.
Yeah, I guess that was my question. Like, what is his angle? It was weird.
He doesn't have a place in this. If Joe Biden wins, he doesn't have a place in his cabinet. He doesn't have a place in government right now. So I don't know. I mean, unless he runs for the Senate or something, but I don't know. I don't see what he benefits from this.
Right. And like Todd says, he says he's bitter too.
I think that's right. I think he is bitter.
He's bitter like Hillary, you think?
Well, I don't know that he's bitter like Hillary.
Okay.
I think Hillary is another level of, she just can't let it go.
Well,
so next week, is Trump going to end division? I don't think it's all on Donald Trump, Patrick. I'll tell you that. I think there's a lot of division to go around. I think everybody's at fault here. I don't think you can pin something like that on one president, on one person. I just don't believe it.
It's going to be very interesting. Tonight will be interesting. What do you think that Biden's main message tonight is going to be?
I think he's going to try to sell some version of a future where everything is hunky dory, where everything is everybody's happy, sort of a utopia type of deal. That he's going to solve man-made climate change. He's going to save the world and create more and more jobs.
30 seconds.
So I don't know. We'll have to see. That's a good question.
Okay, we're coming back. The guest has not called in yet.
Okay.
I mean, they don't usually happen anywhere. And it was just a real shock.
4+ years after these murders, and they couldn't have written a more sinister story than what's playing out in Pike County, Ohio right now.
Listen to the Piketon Massacre wherever you get your podcasts.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. That's the number for you to call or text. Look, we're just kind of rapping about the convention last night. And we got a lot to do today. We're going to talk about Governor Gretchen Whitmer's presser yesterday, and we're going to talk about, Goodyear, obviously. Tom Brennan, basically losing his whole career last night in a short amount of time. But look, for me, last night the convention was the biggest deal out there, and I am curious to know what our next guest has to say about it. He is the author of the current bestseller, Trump and the American Future, Solving the Great Problems of Our Time. Former Speaker of the House, former presidential candidate, Newt Gingrich, here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. How are you?
I'm doing well. And we certainly have a lot of things going on.
Yes. Yeah, it's not a slow news day, that's for sure. But I'd love to get your reaction to the DNC convention that's been kind of unfolding the last few nights. I thought it was, from their perspective, they brought out Barack Obama last night. I thought he gave a good speech. The content was suspect for me. But when you've got Barack Obama out there saying to people behind the scenes, don't be surprised if Joe Biden messes this thing up. He's got to come out and try to cover for his former vice president. Love to know what you thought about it.
Well, look, I think Obama is one of the great orators of our generation. So he gave a good speech because he has such great style. And I think that you have to start from there. I think that the reality is that he's not very comfortable with Biden because he worked with him. He watched him close up. I mean, you know, when former Secretary of Defense Bob Gates, who had served both Democrats and Republicans, wrote his memoir, and he said, in every major national security decision of the last 40 years, Biden has been on the wrong side. Now, that is not exactly an endorsement of somebody that you want to have as commander-in-chief. And I think that it's a very, very great challenge for the Democrats. I felt like this whole thing was an exercise in schizophrenia, because on the one hand, they want us to believe that they're really moderates.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, they open up with Bernie Sanders, who says, I'm really a proud socialist and I'm really proud of Biden because I think he's going to be the most radical president since Franklin Roosevelt in the 1930s. Well, you can't have it both ways. I mean, are you going to be a moderate radical? And that's what they're trying to pull off. And I think that's why if you watch, it's a constant process of them weaving and bobbing. So you have Kamala Harris, who voted to the left of Warren, and she voted to the left of Sanders. Think of it. The most liberal senator was Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the person Biden picked. Now, how can you say we're going to be moderate? But by the way, let me bring in this person who, do you know how hard it is to vote to the left of both Warren and Sanders?
Right. Well, and how about John Kasich the other night saying that he doesn't believe Joe Biden will make a hard left turn?
Well, look, I just feel sad for John. I mean, I worked with Kasich. He was a great budget committee chairman. He was a good governor of Ohio. And I think he got very bitter that the people of America didn't realize that he was the genius that he knew he was. And just literally got embittered. I mean, I watched it happening to him, and it's really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that Biden has to make a hard left turn. I think Biden is the hard left. I think all this stuff about being a moderate is baloney. But Biden has always been willing to be whatever is required to survive. And in order to survive in the modern Democratic Party, you have to be for tax-paid abortion in the 9th month. So he gave up everything he believed about the Hyde Amendment and not having taxpayers pay for abortion. He said, okay, that's fine. It means you have to be for gun control. He gives up everything he ever said about the Second Amendment. He said, that's fine. And you just go down the list, and every time you turn around, Biden is one step further to the left, trying to appease people who you can't appease.
Yeah. We're joined by Newt Gingrich, author of the current bestseller, Trump and the American Future, Solving the Great Problems of Our Time. You talked about John Kasich being bitter. Obviously, Hillary Clinton there last night, and she still, I just feel, can't get over the 2016 election. But one other question that I'd love to ask you, and I know your time is short and we appreciate it, but have you ever seen a former president come out and attack a current president the way that Barack Obama did last night? I think there's an unwritten rule about that, and you kind of you leave everybody alone. And I feel like that was broken last night.
Oh yeah, but look, in all fairness, Donald Trump has broken so many rules. He's the most disruptive president since Andrew Jackson in the 1820s and 30s. And so he's the man, he comes in swinging. And I think the just have to accept the fact that the other guy's going to swing back.
So all those rules are just thrown out the window at that point.
They are, yeah. I thought the fact that Trump was tweeting during the Obama speech was hysterical.
Yeah.
And I think that's just who he is. He's a classic New Yorker. You want a piece of this? You know, he's going to get down on the street and fight with you. And so I think Obama, in that sense, you know, I can't complain about Obama taking a swing when Trump takes swings all day.
Yeah.
I just think Trump's much more effective at it than Obama is.
Really quickly, what do you think? What do you think we hear from Joe Biden tonight? Do you think he's going to be live? I suspect he will give his speech live. What do you expect to hear from him?
Oh, listen, I certainly hope that he is going to be live. I think that would become sort of crazy if he couldn't handle giving one speech when he had all week to practice. Then you would have to really worry about him. I think he will try to play the empathy, generosity. We can all come together. Mm-hmm. Isn't it a pity that Donald Trump is such a bad meanie? And I'm the guy who can make you all feel good. So why don't we feel good together, sing Kumbaya, and go into the sunset? I always tell people, if you want to really test this, close your eyes. Imagine that the next American president is negotiating with Xi Jinping, the very tough dictator of communist China, and ask yourself, do you want the guy negotiating to be a tough guy who has rough edges? Or do you want the guy negotiating to be a guy who falls asleep halfway through the meeting? And I think I can't imagine Biden being the commander-in-chief.
Yeah. Great insights from the former speaker, Newt Gingrich, and of course the author of the bestseller, Trump and the American Future, Solving the Great Problems of Our Time. Mr. Speaker, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. There he is. Yep, you got it. Newt Gingrich here on the Frank Beckmann Show. All right, 9:43 off to the roadways. We go with Dana Clark.
696 westbound west of Woodward. Accident just reported in that road construction area, and still watching an earlier crash blocks the left lane US 23 northbound before Monroe Street. Traffic is backed up from I-475. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Generous Pour event at the Capitol Grill. Wine lovers announcing this year's Generous Pour event at the Capitol Grill for just $28 with dinner. You'll enjoy 7 remarkable varietals from wine enthusiast, winemaker of the year, Dave Finney. Enjoy at the Capitol Grill or in your own home. Call 248-649-5300 or visit thecapitolgrill.com.
Sunshine continuing to win it big time. Maybe a few clouds midday, early afternoon. 77 today's high. Tonight clear, 57. Suburbs low to mid 50s. Saw some upper 40s earlier this morning in northern Michigan. Sunny tomorrow, 81. Friday, sunshine, upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
8 conservative judges confirmed today.
I thought Newt hit that one out of the park when he said, look, and I kind of touched on it earlier. You make the argument that Trump is so unconventional, and the way that he has, decided his leadership techniques and style will be that all of those unwritten rules are kind of just thrown out the door. I think Newt hit it right on the nose.
Yeah, I agree. And Patrick mentioned that too.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, Patrick, I agree. And look, and I don't think it should surprise anyone then that Obama comes out and says the things he does. I think that's, I don't know if it's warranted is the right word, but shouldn't be surprising at that point.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Newt had written so many books.
Oh yeah, very accomplished author.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Yep. All right. Let's see here.
Pretty impressive.
Got to get my papers in order.
Get your organized mess organized, Chris.
I just can't believe Kamala Harris used that kind of same speech that she did the other day. I just couldn't believe it. I thought for sure she'd come out with some new content. I'm calling out what she's saying as she's talking. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I thought that was a little lazy. Again, you've got all this time now to prepare. I mean, look, I would assume that you've known for a while that you were going to be the nominee, and you couldn't have a couple things prepared?
You thought
a couple different speeches?
Thought she mailed it in a little bit, huh?
I thought she mailed it in. Yeah, I thought it was lazy.
Not to mistake that with the mail-in ballots. Of course.
No. Two very separate issues.
Yes.
Two very
which we also have been talking about a lot this week.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. All right, let's see here. Barb says moderate and the Green New Deal. Yeah, I agree with that. Maria says, Patrick, maybe some, but I was agreeing with Barb's comment that Obama could have led the country better race relations by setting an example rather than creating more division with words. Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that too.
30 seconds.
Right,
GM President Trump is blunt and speaks how he feels. Yeah, and that rubs people the wrong way. Not presidential, as some people will say. So I guess those things get thrown out the door.
Here we come.
Yep.
Here's your chance to talk to the doctor. Tune in tonight at 7:05 p.m. to listen to renowned physicians, surgeons, and other medical experts share their expertise on the live 1-hour Colander Medical Radio Show on News Talk 760 WJR.
Help solve food insecurity in Michigan. Hear thought leaders from across the state on Food First Michigan with Dr. Phil Knight and Jerry Brisson. Sunday nights at 9 on WJR, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan and the Food Bank Council of Michigan.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. I want to get to your phone calls. Let's go to Ken in Livonia. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. Yeah, with Barack Obama back in the news, I thought it'd be nice to take a little step back in time. If you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan. If you like your doctor, you could keep your doctor. You know, your monthly premiums are going to go down. Your yearly premiums are going to go down $2,500. Here's a president that deliberately lied to the American people. Here's a president that lied to his own supporters. He knew that the facts, the reality of Obamacare, if he was to speak it, never would have went through. The reality is the vote would have been against Obamacare.
Well, hey, but Ken, remember, what about Nancy Pelosi saying we got to push this thing through to know what's in it? They didn't even know.
Well, absolutely.
How about that?
Absolutely. And the point is, it's because of the damage that Barack Obama caused to the nation, its economy, its national security. That's why people like me voted for Donald Trump. And so when we look at Joe Biden, we know he's even further to the left than Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Democrat Party, for putting Barack Obama, for bringing Michelle Obama up front, because it's just going to make it that much easier for me to go and vote for Donald Trump.
Interesting theory, Ken. Thank you. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Chelsea and Richard. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Chris. How are you? Listen, I heard quite a bit already on your show, so most of my points have been covered, but I would like to make one recommendation to maybe yourself and as Newt Gingrich just spoke. Listen, you remember a gentleman named Chris Matthews? He had a TV show.
Yes, on MSNBC.
And if I recall his statement, after one of Barack Hussein Obama's orators, or whatever you want to call it, he said that he had a chill running up and down his leg. I would hope that your guest and maybe yourself would refrain from speaking about Barack Hussein Obama as the Messiah, and after he gets done speaking, just call him out for what he has done against this country in regards to transforming it, as he would like to have called.
Well, and Richard,
Chris, I understand that maybe the man is a good speaker and everything like that. I don't take that away, but we don't have to go around opinion for it.
Okay, but look, I'm telling you from I'm just delivering you the message, right? I told you guys at the beginning of the week, I'll watch this convention nonsense. You guys don't have to. I'll bring it to you and we can talk about it. But look, they bring out Barack Obama. He's their heavyweight. He's the only guy in that party that really, really carries any sort of cachet. Whatever you think about him, whatever his policies were, he's the only guy that carries cachet in the Democrat Party. And so they have to bring him out. And of course, and like Newt Gingrich just told us, he's one of the great orators of our time. And he's right. Again, content of said speech. Richard.
One more thing, please.
Okay, real quick. Go ahead, real quick.
I think this idea that he's a great orator needs to be prefaced by the fact that he's also a great big fat liar.
Okay, and that's fine. Again,
let's put it in context. The man's a great orator. He learned all this crap from studying Lenin and Marxists and all this stuff. Bullshit, people.
All right. Well, we got to, Richard, I can't have you do that. I'm sorry. That's one. We can't do that. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. Rob in Sterling Heights. Good morning, Rob.
Chris, how you doing today?
Hey, good.
I got just 2 points. First of all, Hillary Clinton seems to be like that girlfriend that you dumped and she never gets over it. And some girlfriends maybe that you broke up with, to get a different hairstyle, to get makeup looks great, and they got over you and they look absolutely great for it. She seems to have something just caught in her that she's so vindictive over what happened. And let's face facts, she also got dumped by Barack Obama too, and she never forgot that either. So,
well, I think for Hillary Clinton, look, and I'll just play devil's advocate here, right? Because if you're a Democrat or on the left, the fact that anybody lost to Donald Trump is unbelievable. And even still, I mean, the Democrats still cannot, I mean, the whole party can't get over the fact that she lost. And she's reminded of it every single day. So I mean, look, I'm not saying that you got to hold on to it for years and years and years, but she just will not let it go. And I just felt in her address last night, it was a lot of that.
And the other thing I do want to bring out is, you talk about other presidents not coming out and doing it, because as a former president, really, instead of being an attack dog, that's usually the what the vice president does, your nomination.
Yes.
You should actually look like you're putting the country above your party, because you ran the country for a long time. You want to do it. He didn't come off that way.
No.
And I think Newt Gingrich did touch on a little bit. You can't out-Trump Trump. If you're a football team and you have a ground game and that's your bread and butter, so what do? You wear down the other team. You run the ball, play ball control. That's what you do to win the game. You don't all of a sudden change to a passing attack. That's not your game. That's not what you do.
Right.
And that's not what he should be doing. And you can't out-Trump Trump on that case.
Nope.
You go some other way. You be more compassionate. You try to bring other people into the party. Hey, we're Big Tens. We're this positive message. Instead of being nasty old Donald Trump, that's what he probably should have hit and leave the attacking to Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because, I mean, think of it like this, too. The Democrats are always saying they're the party of inclusiveness, right? It didn't feel that way. It doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel that way when you're constantly slamming members of the opposite party. That's a good call, Rob. Thank you. 800-859-0957. Real quick, to George on a cell. Good morning, George.
Good morning.
Hey.
Well, I stayed up, lost an hour's sleep to watch President Obama's speech, and when he come on there and said that politicians aren't supposed to use the office to enrich themselves, I just both threw up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the lines where I just said, oh boy. I mean, aren't you all politicians at this point? He talked about Donald Trump being a custodian of democracy. Again, nice little buzzword phrase. But outside of throwing the haymaker, he obviously touched on what Joe Biden had to say. I mean, I thought it was a great speech. Again, hold the content, but I thought it was a really good speech by Obama, and I thought it was properly timed by the party.
Oh yeah.
All right, George. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Yep, you got it. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. Coming up next, I want to throw something in the mix. Of course, the governor talked yesterday, and she spoke about the Unlock Michigan ballot initiative to repeal the 1945 emergency powers law that the governor can take advantage of and has been taking advantage of. And she had some interesting things to say about that. So we'll talk about that coming up at 10:05 here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Chris Renwick filling in. 800-859-0957 if you want to participate in today's show. And also you can watch us on Facebook and on YouTube live. So you can participate that way as well. All right, off to the roadways we go at 9:56 with our Dana Clark.
Traffic First sponsored by the Restore Wellness Center. Are you experiencing nagging body pain? The Restore Wellness Center can help relieve or eliminate neck and back, arthritis, tendonitis, muscle soreness, and more. Call the state's best non-invasive laser therapy treatment centers today. Get your first treatment free. Call 800-935-5959 in Brighton, Shelby, and Bloomfield, or RestoreWellnessCenter.com. Accident in that road construction, 96 westbound at Milford Road. Stop and go traffic reported westbound 96 between Milford and Kent Lake. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Marathon. No matter where your travels take you, Marathon can improve your engine performance with quality top-tier gasoline. Marathon, fueling the American spirit. Lots of sunshine once again today, a high of 80. Tonight, clear skies, low 63. To kick off the weekend, more sunshine on Friday and a high of 86. Sunshine, 61 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 3 minutes.
Here's your chance to talk to the doctor. Tune in tonight at 7:05 p.m. Share their expertise on the live 1-hour Colander Medical Radio Show on News Talk 760 WJR.
Help solve food insecurity in Michigan.
Oh, we got some breaking news here this morning on Steve Bannon.
Sunday nights at 9 on WJR.
What do we got?
Former White House advisor Steve Bannon has been arrested on charges that he and 3 others ripped off donors to an online fundraising scheme, We Build the Wall.
Really?
Interesting. So we'll talk about that coming up as well.
For sure. Your tease before the break about the Unlock Michigan, huh?
Yeah.
What's your feeling?
Yeah.
What's your feelings on that?
My initial feeling was that the governor she's a little worried about it.
Okay.
And by the way, and I'll give you guys a little taste of it here first. But remember, there are 2 laws on the books about emergency powers that governors can use.
Correct.
The one that they're trying to repeal allows the governor to just declare a state of emergency and act unilaterally.
Correct.
The second one also allows the governor to call a state of emergency and act unilaterally, but requires the legislature's approval of said state of emergency.
Correct.
So it's not that she won't have emergency powers anymore. That's not the case. It's the fact that she'd have to include our state representatives, who we also voted to go represent us, to participate in the process.
So if the older law gets repealed, which was the 1945 law, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And this other law is a 1970.
Yeah, 70 something.
Something law.
Yeah.
Then how do you think it's going to go down?
What do you mean? How do you think it's going to go down?
How do you think, how do you think the representatives will vote? Or what will they do to,
Well, it depends. I mean, I look, when the initial discussions were going on after her first state of emergency was expiring, she wanted, I don't remember the exact number, 7 weeks or something.
Right.
And the legislature was only willing to go 2 weeks at a time. So every 2 weeks they have to make a vote on it if she wanted to continue to extend it.
Correct.
And it sounded like they were willing to do that. They just wanted to be a part of the process.
Right.
And the interesting part of that is the governor has very much severed ties with the legislature. I mean, they've been at odds for a long time, and she's acted really, when it came to road funding, right? She stopped showing up to meetings, allegedly. She says she didn't. The leaders of both the House and the Senate say she did. She then acted kind of unilaterally and bond out our road, the money for our road repairs. So basically, you're just taking out a loan. And then on top of that, I mean, she has done things that have really strained the relationship between Mike Shirkey, Lee Chatfield, and herself.
Do you think that she feels that if she loses that 1945 law, that she'll just be given just too much trouble to do what she wants to do with the state of emergency?
Well, I don't know what you mean. I mean,
or is that not the right word?
No, she would have, if the legislature, I guess, feels that it's necessary to be in a state of emergency,
right?
Then they would vote in favor of allowing the state of emergency to go on.
Do you think that the legislature feels that we should be in a state of emergency?
I would guess right now, no. The answer would be no.
So that's why I think that's why she's obviously worried.
I think at one point we can make that argument.
Right, but not now.
But I don't believe now is a time to be in a state of emergency.
Right.
I mean, again, you look at the executive orders that she signed. She signed more executive orders than Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin combined. And those states are run by, two of them are run by Republicans, two of them are run by Democrats.
Do you think that she has abused her power?
At this point, I would probably say yes. Again, I think there was a time for it. I think there was a time for quick, decisive actions, right? Especially early on when we didn't know anything about anything.
Right.
But as time has gone on, again, remember the goal here, right, in declaring a state of emergency was you can make quick snap judgments, right? You can just make decisions that in a fluid situation you need to make quickly. But remember, the goal, if you remember, was to flatten the curve.
Correct.
And not overwhelm our healthcare system, right?
Correct.
Okay, those were the only two goals.
Got it.
Well, we accomplished them.
Correct.
We not only flattened the curve, but then came down the other side.
Right.
And we had rose up a little bit in July.
Right.
But for the most part, we're at a very steady level.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So at when that happens, why do we need to be in a state of emergency? Why can't the legislature be involved? Why can't our representatives that you and I voted for and everybody else, why can't they be involved? See, that's where you get into a sticky situation.
Right.
Because I think there's a time to use it, but then there's a time to distance yourself from it. And think of it like this, Dave. She's been in office for almost 20 months.
Yeah.
And a fourth of her time in office has been under a state of emergency, being able to act unilaterally without the legislature. 1/4 of her time in office. I mean, that's substantial. 25%.
Do you feel that? So you felt that the emergency situation that she put us into was good at the beginning.
I do.
We're going to have to come back to this because we're coming back. But
Yeah.
I have another question for you.
Okay.
Directly from countries with socialized medicine. Their policies will mean fewer new cures, less access to treatments, and lost jobs for Americans.
Gotta believe our guy will back us out of that. He puts America first.
Paid for by Americans for Tax Reform. Visit nopricecontrols.org.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. All right, the governor spoke yesterday at 2 o'clock, and she had some interesting things to say. Obviously, they're going to be giving $65 million to help include low-income, economically disadvantaged students for the school year, right? So if there's a technology gap, if there's laptops or internet that needs to be helped, given to the students to help them learn, that money can go to that and also help improve safety and whatever. So that's great news. But she said something interesting, and there wasn't a whole lot of expanding on it. And I had hoped, and whether or not that it was really towards the end of her question and answer portion after her prepared remarks. But there wasn't a lot of pressing from the media on it. In addition, all the media is via Zoom. I mean, they're all on a virtual standby, so it's not like they can just blurt out a rebuttal or a follow-up question. So it's difficult that way. But she touched on Unlock Michigan because the question was, what do you feel about this ballot initiative, Unlock Michigan? And I want you to hear what she has to say. Rich, please play cut 6.
This effort to repeal the 1945 Act is very dangerous, and they're using unscrupulous measures to try to collect signatures. When you see them out and about collecting signatures, they might tell you that it's actually an effort to support me. They have encouraged people to do things that are not legal in terms of signing other people's names. I think that there are a lot of concerns, but the biggest concern is this. If these powers weren't in effect right now, we would look a heck of a lot more like Florida.
Okay, those are pretty heavy accusations now. So again, where's the evidence? It's a very simple question. Why does she feel that way? What information does she have that leads her to believe that they're using unscrupulous and downright illegal tactics to collect signatures? Again, no follow-up, no explanation, just very vague. They're doing this illegally. And we'd look a heck of a lot more like Florida. She says she's going to fight to save these powers for not only herself, but for governors in the future, no matter what party they're a part of. Rich 7, please.
But I will fight to save these powers for every successor who comes after me, because God forbid we ever have to go through something like this. As a resident of this state, I will want our governor to be able to do what they need to do to save lives, and that's what we have done. So I ask people to decline to sign if you see that out there, because we know these actions have saved us. The vast majority of people get it in this state and support this, and that's precisely why we're going to fight to keep these powers in this executive office so that a governor can take action to save lives.
Again, governor can continue to take action because there are dueling laws in Michigan on emergency powers at the highest seat. Except you'll have to work with the legislature. You'll have to work with the representatives that the people of Michigan voted in to represent us. Remember, back when this started, after her first emergency order was expiring, Mike Sirkey and Lee Chatfield were willing to extend that state of emergency for 2 weeks. But that wasn't long enough for her. She wanted it longer. So she just dipped into the 1945 law and continued the state of emergency, and it continues today. Again, it's not that she won't have those powers. It's not that she won't have the ability to go into a state of emergency. She will. But you've got to involve the other people in the state. That's all. And I think if you can make your case that it's a right time for it, and the legislature listens to you, then there will be no issue. But it almost sounds like she's making it sound like that there will be no way for a governor to call for emergency powers. And I think that's very disingenuous. And when you don't provide facts or evidence to support your claim that they're collecting signatures illegally, we have a right to question that. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Let's go to Larry on a cell. Good morning, Larry.
Hey, about Barack Obama being a great orator, and I want to comment on that, powers for the governor, if I might, too. But, Barack Obama is a great reader. When you put something in front of him, he can read it with all kinds of, vim and verb and fire and vinegar and everything else. The few times he didn't have a teleprompter, he fell flat on his face, and people saw him for what he really was when he lied to us about you can keep your doctor You can
sure.
save $2,500 a year.
Sure.
My health care costs went up $15,000 a year with the quote unquote Affordable Health Care Act, and I lost my ability to belong to a group, which really hammers you when it comes to the rates.
Sure.
And as far as Governor Whitmer not wanting to have the powers repealed, the 1945 law, which they thought they corrected in the 70s with a revised law. All she's going to do is go to the legislature. She knows it because she did it, and the legislature told her no. So then she says, "Oh well, I'll just use this 1945 law."
Well,
ignore the fact that there's another law out there, and all you got to do, if you can make the case, is go to the legislature. And don't tell me she can't do right away, because I'm sure politically the legislature will act right away on something like this if there's a lot of danger to the population. So she's full of malarkey.
Well, Larry, and remember, when this was going on and she was looking to extend her state of emergency for the second time, the legislature was willing to extend it. They were willing to extend it for 2 weeks. They were willing to go in 2-week increments, and that was not satisfactory to her. She wanted it for longer. But the legislature at first was willing to do it.
She wanted to have the dictatorial powers to put 155 plus executive orders on us. I'm not even sure the number anymore.
Over 160.
About everything but sliced bread.
Yeah. All right, Larry. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. 800-859-0957. 1013. Let's head on out to the roadways. Check it out there with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast, The Pete and Sebastian Show. The Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Corielli and Sebastian Maniscalco. It's your two favorite Italian-American comedians, bringing you nonstop laughs and outrageous stories from the snapshots of their everyday lives. Find The Pete and Sebastian Show wherever you listen to podcasts.
Traffic First also sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where you not only pick your payments, but now pick your program. Need to pull ahead your lease? Do you need GM employee pricing or a low payment with zero interest? Let Gordon Chevrolet help you find it. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City, GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. A closure in Washington on 94 westbound between Michigan Ave and US 23. Shut down there due to an accident. Multi-vehicle crash. Traffic is backed up to Huron. As a result, please seek an alternate route. 96 westbound at Milford Road. Accident blocks the left shoulder right in that road construction area. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Sponsored by Shelving.com. In your changed work environment, maximize space and increase performance in your manufacturing facility, warehouse, school, or home with Shelving.com's durable wire metal shelving and pallet racks. Order today at Shelving.com. Get a free warehouse safety pallet rack survey and 11% off. At Shelving.com, we rack your world.
Plenty of sunshine now. Seeing a few clouds at times. Otherwise, gorgeous afternoon. Very pleasant, cool. 77. Overnight tonight, 57. And it looks like sunshine will be back tomorrow, 81. Friday, sunshine in the upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
Join Paul W. Smith as he talks to all the movers and shakers making the biggest difference in the D. It's Opportunity Detroit, presented by Bedrock and
News Talk 760 WJR. Michigan Economic Development Corporation is committed to helping businesses in our state during the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond.
The contributions are
NEDC
countless.
has dedicated programs and resources available to you now. These include small business support, access
Hey,
to
Chris.
Hey.
resources, and buyer and
Sorry, I'm just trying to find some information here.
Not a problem.
michiganbusiness.org/pure-partnership. That's michiganbusiness.org/pure-partnership.
Here's your chance to talk to the doctor.
See, my feeling on the Unlock Michigan is that if a governor has to go and even though she still has the power to do what she wants to do, but if she has to include somebody else, it's just kind of slow down the process. I think that's what she's probably worried about, and that's why she went and got that other law.
Again, I think timing is everything, right? And I think early on, I don't really have much of a complaint with how she handled everything early on. Personally,
right. It's lately.
I think it was so new and we didn't know anything about it. And I mean, I don't have a lot of disagreement there. But when we talked about before about the goalpost was flattening the curve, not overwhelming our health system. Well, then we did that. But then she came out and said, well, we really need a vaccine to open everything back up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you go, whoa, hold on a second.
Well, let me ask you this question so I make sure I understand correctly. If the 45 law gets repealed and they have to go with the new law, and she's got to talk, so she can talk with them and include them, but then she still can do whatever she wants. Is that correct?
They'll vote.
Okay.
If they allow her to have the emergency order, then she can act.
But they can vote for her not to be able to do it too.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. That's what I thought.
Yep, that's correct.
Well, unfortunately, based upon the discussion that we had yesterday, I kind of feel that I hope that the 45 law stays in place because I think that she's done a good job so far, and I think we have to just stay the course with her.
Well, again, I'm under the impression that we don't need to be in a state of emergency right now. There's no need for it. And unfortunately, she does. And so that's why we continue to act like this. I really don't, if she goes out and comes back in and goes out and comes back in, I would change my mind a little bit, I think.
Right.
It shows at least some transparency. Right. Like in June, we certainly didn't need a state of emergency. Right. We were bare bones cases.
Right.
But
I think
never got out.
But I think the reason that we never got out was because as soon as she started to open it up a little, the cases started to rise again. And that's the reason why she's still keeping it in place.
Again, I don't particularly like
if people
I like a checks and balance system.
Right.
I like when people are being able to. Yes, exactly. Right. Jerry's exactly right.
All right, we're coming back.
.com. Du Michel's, a Detroit tradition since 1927.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. I want to get you caught up here on some of our texts. Chris, we have documented proof that Governor Whitmer has acted illegally with her 160-plus executive orders, and now we look more like New York. And I don't care what some DNC judge said in the lawsuit against her emergency orders. She and she alone is responsible for the more than 2,000 nursing home deaths of elderly citizens. And she has the audacity to accuse people of gathering signatures illegally, signatures that could clip her wings. She's a disgrace. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. You can call or text that number. Let's go to Mark in Milford. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Chris, I am watching this democratic circus what's going right now, and I am really back my 40 years back in Poland. Communistic government, socialistic government, and how American people slowly is changing their mind about freedom in this country. Mm-hmm. You can put very little blame on myself because back first election for Obama, I vote for him for one reason, to fulfill the dream of Mr. Martin Luther King. He's got dream, and this guy was dreamer. I learned a lot about him in the history in Poland, but after the second election, Mr. Obama was gone. Mm-hmm. American people should wake up and think twice before they will go to the voting booth in this election. Obama is the biggest scam in American history. This guy sold United States to Iran when he returned illegal money to Iran. They said there was $150 billion. My question is why American military airplane, dumped the money in Iraq? I'm sorry, Iran.
Yeah.
But question another is how much Obama collect payback from Ayatollah. And this money was transferred to Malta Bank. That is something which I would like no United States government will look
Sure.
against Obama, where he got $165 million by some property close to the Martha Vineyard or whatever the name is it. And second, how he can have so much money in 8 years that IRS doesn't look in his income. If you will go to back memory to President Reagan and
Real quick, Mark.
Pardon me?
Real quick. I want you to finish your thought. Real quick.
President Reagan, he paid $2,000 for IRS because Nancy Reagan accepted some beautiful dress for his inauguration to be president of United States. And IRS chased Reagan for the $2,000. How much joke is this? $2,000,
right?
$8 billion in their Obama pocket.
Yeah, I hear you, Mark. Hey, good call. Thank you. 800-859-0957. You know, another part of everything surrounding COVID, of course, the stock market now has gone up. It erased all the losses from shutting down the economy, and it's starting to build back up and even now wiping away all those losses. And look, I think a lot of people are worried, they're anxious and even uncertain about how they're able to, invest their money, where they should invest their money, their income. Can you continue to save for retirement? And look, I need answers on it. And I know a lot of you do too. So I figured we should bring in an expert, and that's Rick Edelman, founder of the Edelman Financial Engines, who joins us now on the Frank Beckmann Show. Rick, good morning to you.
It's great to be with you, Chris. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, listen, I know people all across the country, certainly our listeners, your listeners, they're worried about where they stand in their finances, whether or not they're losing jobs, whether or not they took a loss in the market. And look, just because COVID is going on right now doesn't mean they just forget about retirement. And so I guess for me, what can people do to kind of weather the storm here and get themselves in some good economic standings?
Well, you've hit the nail right on the head. The real key here is to recognize that despite everything going on, you've still got to save for retirement. It's harder now, no question about it, given everything that's happening between the pandemic, the unemployment rate, the government debates about stimulus, and of course the upcoming election. But regardless of all that, you've got to secure your financial future for yourself and your family. And that means you got to do whatever it takes. And that's easier said than done. I don't mean to be cavalier about it at all. But we do have to recognize that it's about hunkering down. We need to get through this crisis as best as we can, individually and with our families and our communities, so that our financial future isn't at risk. And that means reducing your expenses where you can. It means increasing your cash reserves so that you don't have to tap into your retirement accounts at work or your IRAs or your long-term savings. The last thing you want to do is have to liquidate those accounts while the markets are down in value, say if the market decides to drop like it did in April, so that you can preserve your ability to achieve your goals in the future. And if you still have the ability, continue adding to your savings. Add money to your bank accounts and cash reserves, continue contributing to your 401k at work, add to your investment accounts, because that's what matters most.
And those are things that you can do right now. Right now, today, at this moment.
Yes. All you got to do is take a look at your expenses. A lot of folks have a big change in lifestyle because of this environment. We're not traveling like we used to. We're not going to restaurants. We're not going to movie theaters. We're not going to ballparks. You're spending probably less money than you used to. Well, that's money you can throw into your savings. You also may be spending money in ways that you no longer need to be spending money. For example, most of us aren't driving as much as we were. Some of us aren't touching our car because we have 2 cars, but we're working from home. So I haven't touched my car in 3 months. So why not cancel your auto insurance? If you're not driving the car, save yourself a few $100. You can re-up the auto insurance later when the pandemic's over.
Right.
If you haven't refinanced your mortgage rates are at historic low levels. You can save hundreds of dollars a month in many cases by refinancing your mortgage. So there are a lot of creative things you can be looking at to save you a lot of money to increase your ability to sock it away for the future.
Well, and those are all really important messages right now. I mean, look, obviously everybody's worried about COVID or hopefully things are starting to get better. And I think a lot of the worry is behind us. But we certainly saw it reflected in the stock market. And I think there's a lot of stuff there that people can chew on and go, look, I feel at least better knowing that even on the other side of this, we have a plan to at least save some money, continue to feed our retirement funds and however you do that. And I think those are all really, really good examples. Hey, Rick, thank you so much. I appreciate the time. I know you got to run. But thank you for taking some time with us this morning here on the show. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Chris. And folks can tune in Sundays, 8 to 10 a.m. on WJR.
Yep, you got it. There he is. The voice, Rick Edelman, founder of Edelman Financial Engines, here on the Frank Beckmann Show. All right, 10:27, off to the roadways we go. Check things out there with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast, The Pete and Sebastian Show. The Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Correale and Sebastian Maniscalco. It's your two favorite Italian-American comedians, bringing you nonstop laughs and outrageous stories from the snapshots of their everyday lives. Find The Pete and Sebastian Show wherever you listen to podcasts.
Still dealing with that closure in Washtenaw 94 westbound between Michigan Avenue and US 23 shut down due to an accident. Traffic is backed up to Huron as a result. Please seek an alternate route. Accident in construction 96 westbound at Milford Road. It is blocking the left shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Generous Pour event at the Capitol Grill. WJR wine lovers, our friends at the Capitol Grill, are excited to announce this year's Generous Pour for just $28 with dinner. You'll enjoy 7 remarkable varietals from Orin Swift winemaker Dave Finney, wine enthusiast, winemaker of the year. Call 248-649-5300 or visit thecapitolgrill.com. Lots of sunshine again today, a high of 80, currently 61 degrees. Tonight, clear skies, low 63. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
Say that.
Yep.
All right.
Good transition there, Chris. Very nice.
Rice Delman, that's right.
I know.
Rice Delman on the show.
Patrick knows. It's so
Yes, of
Rich
course.
Rich and I were just laughing about that.
I'm telling you, you got financial advice. That's the guy to go to. I mean, look, he's just one of the best in the business. There's no
I
doubt.
see his commercials even on ESPN. I mean,
Yes.
guys everywhere. Rick Edelman's everywhere. I didn't think he made a good point. Canceling your auto insurance if you're not using your car. Now, I, for one, am still using my car, but I guess a lot of people aren't. They're just at home.
I thought you got a little moped that you were riding around now.
No.
One of those electric scooters.
No, I don't have one of those. I've always kind of wanted to maybe get a motorcycle one day and learn how to ride a motorcycle.
Really?
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool.
I would love to see you on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
With the chaps.
No.
And a leather vest.
No, I don't. No.
And just the little tiny like bowler helmet, just right on the top, and some sunglasses.
Would it be?
And you're just on a Harley with tassels on your arms.
Would it be a Harley, or would it be like a Suzuki or something like that?
No.
Fast motorcycles.
No, you'd be on a. I could see you on a Harley.
Okay. Or would it be one of those like ones that have the 3 wheels that you see?
Well, yes, because you can't ride a bike. Your balance is a struggle for you.
Not true.
No.
Not true. I've got balance like a cat.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Come on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You've seen me play golf. You got to have good balance for that, right?
That's true. That is true.
Come on. Got to give me credit for something there, Chris.
Well, I don't know.
Come on. I know it's real hard for you. Todd says that it's great. He must be a motorcycle guy.
Oh, Todd, you're a motorcycle guy?
Yeah.
Democratic National Convention, Joe Biden
Apparently.
will finally give his acceptance speech. Night 3 was about the
I'm following Dave Ramsey baby steps, so I'll be like them rich people, says Patrick.
He's another financial guy. Yeah, Dave Ramsey is another financial guy.
Yeah.
My brother used to like to follow some of Dave Ramsey's advice.
Was he like a motivational speaker too? Did he go around talking about, giving financial advice and stuff?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. I should have gotten Tommy's bike after he left. You're right. Mike Dwyer used to work with me at my first radio job, and there was a guy who would ride a motorcycle, Tommy McIntyre.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah. For sure. Yeah. Patrick wants the slingshot, the 3-wheeler bike.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are pretty cool looking.
Yeah. I just thought it would always be cool. I don't know why. I just always thought it would be cool to ride a bike.
I would like for you to get a motorcycle.
Yeah. So could you imagine trying to ride a motorcycle up the parking structure here at the Fisher Building?
I would like for you to get a motorcycle, but I would like for you to join like a motorcycle gang, like a group.
Biker gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like what was that show? What was that show?
Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, because that's me for sure. When you look at me, you think
I
biker
think
gang
Sons
is-
of Anarchy.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yes. Yeah, I could see you rolling up
Patrick says that.
See, there you go. Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
You got it.
Born
to be wild. Yes.
To be wild. There you go.
Cher likes a good biker.
Cher, yeah. I'm sure she does. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it would always be cool. I just never have, looked into it.
There you go. Hell's Angels.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Head down to Sturgis.
Yep. There you go, David.
There you go.
There you go. Done and done.
Got it all planned out. Yep.
There it is.
Next summer.
Yep.
Yep. Oh,
don't even wait till the summer.
Patrick says that Rich and I can start a gang.
Yeah, that would be good.
Perfect. Yep. Do you want in on the gang, Chris?
No, I'm not. I'm not a biker guy.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be, if Rich and I had a gang, there would be quite the initiation to get into the gang.
I would like to see that.
Yes. You can only imagine what Rich would come up with to initiate people into this gang.
Yes, it would be terrific.
Yes.
You'd have to walk around with the Cher mask.
You would have to walk around with the Cher mask
for 24 hours.
For 24 hours, that would be one of the things. But I can only imagine, with Rich's imagination, what he might come up with to join our biker gang.
Yeah, it would be excellent.
Says
It
we
would
don't
be
have to
excellent.
wear it says we don't have to wear a helmet in to ride in Michigan, but we do have to wear a mask. Mike says.
Yep,
Okay,
that's true.
I would definitely wear a helmet. I definitely would wear a helmet for sure, but it would have to be like a cool helmet. It would have to, have like a cool logo on it or something. Maybe Rich can design the logo for our gang.
There you go.
This could be badass.
So yeah.
30 seconds.
That's true, Jim. My nickname would fit well. Kingpin would fit well with the club.
Oh yeah, it would.
Yes,
Yes,
perfect.
it would. I agree.
We have to talk more about this when we come back.
Thursday features exceptional art from a prominent Grosse Pointe collector, and Friday features a rare collection of Marshall Frederick's bronze sculptures from the artist's family collection. Preview or consign items at Dumichel's Gallery across from the Renaissance Center. For details, visit auctiondetroit.com. Dumichel's, a Detroit tradition since 1927.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. That's the number for you to call or text. I wanted to bring this to you as well. Steve Bannon has been arrested. The former White House advisor, Steve Bannon, arrested on charges that he and 3 others ripped off donors to an online fundraising scheme called We Build the Wall. The charges were contained in an indictment unsealed Today in Manhattan federal court, federal prosecutors allege that Bannon and 3 others orchestrated a scheme to defraud hundreds of thousands of dollars in connection with an online crowdfunding campaign that raised more than $25 million to build a wall along the southern border of the United States. So that's new news this morning. Also being confirmed this morning, the state of Michigan will pay $600 million to the people of the Flint water crisis who were affected, with the majority of the settlements going to claim to the claims from Flint children. That coming from Attorney General Dana Nessel today. Roughly 80% of the settlement will go towards individuals who are still minors at the time of the lead contamination. A large part of that money will go toward claims from children below the age of 6, 2% towards special education in Genesee County, 18% net settlement funds will go to adults for damaged property. 1% will go towards businesses that experience losses as a result. The $600 million settlement plus the roughly $409 million already spent in the water crisis is expected to bring the Flint-related state expenditures to over $1 billion. $1 billion. And apparently those conversations have been going on for the last 18 months. So a couple of big stories now breaking this morning for you here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Chris Renwick filling in. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can watch the show there. But I want to get back to the phone calls. Let's go to Bart in Farmington Hills. Good morning, Bart.
Chris, how are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Well, I consider myself a independent voter. I did support Donald Trump the last presidential election, and I will be for the one in November because I've been watching the DNC this week with a lot of scrutiny, and they keep rolling out the same politicians. They're not convincing me, nor are they painting the picture of what the next 4 years looks like should Joe Biden win the presidency. And I'm tired of the complaining, the name calling from the DNC. I think they're still weeping in the fact that Hillary Clinton is not president. And I was pretty disgusted with President Obama's speech, as well as Elizabeth Warren. I just don't understand, Chris, why they're not telling me or informing me, what are your plans, Joe Biden? What's it look like should you become president? I'm just not getting that these last several nights, unless in Joe Biden's big speech, he's going to paint that picture. But I haven't felt that these last few nights, Chris.
Yeah, and I don't expect you will tonight either, because I'm assuming there'll be a lot of generalities, right? We're going to fix the healthcare system. We're going to fix immigration. We're going to fix man-made climate change. We're going to fix criminal justice in the United States. Like, these are the things that will be said. He won't tell you how he's going to fix education. He's not going to tell you how he's going to pay for it. He's not going to tell you where the money's coming from. He's not even going to tell you that he's going to raise your taxes. He won't do any of that. And in fact, go ahead.
Look, thank you. He was in office during everything you just said.
Well, sure. But he, and this is where I'll give him a little bit of a break. I mean, he is not the one in charge. I mean, he'll take orders, he'll get the marching orders from Obama or in the Senate. But I look at it like, look, here, I'm going to give him a clean slate, right? Even after everything, I'm going to give him a clean slate. I just want him to tell me what he's going to do going forward. And we won't even hear that.
Wow. If he doesn't seize that moment tonight to paint the picture of what it looks like, then his campaign is simply going to fall apart. And you can't have everybody telling me how Donald Trump has failed, which I disagree with. He has really got to come out of the gate tonight explaining everything to me, but he was in office when they tried to do all that the first time.
Correct. Well, and then Bart, think of it like this too, right? You're going to have 30 states in this country, 30 states that are going to be able to mail in their ballot. They're going to be able to fill it out, lick it, stamp it, and throw it in the mail 35 days before the election and even before the first presidential debate. So that tells me that they want to continue to hide Joe Biden because he is a human gaffe machine at this point. He can't make it through an unprepared speech and even a prepared speech for that matter. But they don't want him out there because they want him to continue to lie low because he can't be trusted. He can't be trusted to go out there and relay coherent information. And I'm not even bashing him for anything else. I'm just telling you from what I've seen. He can't be trusted, so they will not allow him to go out there and do it. I think it's a complete disservice to allow 30 states in this country, millions of people, to even if a fraction of those people actually decided to mail in their ballots before they even have a debate set up to debate each other. I think it's completely wrong.
I agree. And also, I'm still waiting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Chuck and Nancy to denounce all the violence and looting that we keep seeing night after night. When are they going to do that?
Well, and Bart, remember, it was Michelle Obama a couple nights ago who said, if you see something, say something. And that was a message that was thrown in there a little bit last night as well. And I argue, if we have seen something.
Yes.
You've seen something and you haven't said anything. There are people getting beat to a pulp in Portland and you haven't said anything. That's on you. So they're not even practicing what they preach. Bart, I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. 1043, let's head on out to the roadways, get an update there with our Dana Clark.
94 westbound still shut down between Michigan Avenue and US 23. Shut down there due to a multi-vehicle crash. Please seek an alternate route. Police are on the scene. Traffic backed up to almost Huron as a result. 96 westbound between Milford and Kent Lake Road. Traffic is slow through that stretch. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com, a Michigan family business offering Detroit-made durable Unirack brand pallet racking. Maximize space in your manufacturing facility, warehouse, school, and home. Celebrate 60 years with Shelving.com. Get a free warehouse safety pallet rack survey and 11% off. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world.
This report is sponsored by the podcast, The Pete and Sebastian Show.
The Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Corielli and Sebastian Maniscalco. It's your two favorite Italian-American comedians bringing you nonstop laughs and outrageous stories from the snapshots of their everyday lives. Find The Pete and Sebastian Show wherever you listen to podcasts.
Sunshine everywhere, maybe a few clouds early to mid-afternoon, and daytime highs will be slightly below average, 77. Tonight, back into the upper 50s, 57 degrees. Suburbs will be cooler. This morning saw some upper 40s to our north. Sunshine tomorrow, 81. Friday, sunshine, 88. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
I don't understand it, and it frustrates me. Why are people still injections and having unnecessary surgery?
I believe the Build the Wall is founded by an Air Force vet. I think you're right, Todd. I think we actually had him on the show. I think Frank talked to him.
For years.
He can't admit what he will fix because things like healthcare became broken while he was VP and would make Obama look bad. That's an interesting point, Maria. But like I said, look, I'm going to just be totally, I'm going to just forget a lot of stuff. Right, I'm just going to forget all that time he was in the Senate. I'm going to forget all that time, all those 8 years that he was vice president. I'm going to forget all of it, just for the sake of argument.
Give you a free consultation and a free treatment.
What are you doing now? What are you doing in the future? How are you going to pay for your free education? What are you going to do? What programs are you going to take away? What are you going to do? So I'm even willing to look past all that, all his past stuff. I just want answers what you're going to do in the next 4 years.
Maybe he'll tell you tonight.
He won't. Spoiler alert, he won't.
So you think there will be no policies that are going to be brought into, just like you've been waiting all week for? It's not going to be.
No, it's not going to happen.
You think it's all going to be rainbows and,
I think it's going to be
things to look forward in the future.
I think from some of the stuff that I was watching last night on the recap, they were talking about one of the reporters on CNN said that he had gotten word that Biden will very rarely mention Donald Trump. Like he's not even going to focus on, he's going to focus on the future and how he's going to improve things and for the American people and whatnot. Fine. But then how are you going to do it? I that's the drum I just keep beating. And we've got none of it. No. And again, in a normal convention, there isn't a lot of policy talk, right? It's riling everybody up, get everybody out to vote, get all the volunteers ready, get them all whipped up and ready to go and fire them up. That's what the convention's for. But this is not a normal convention. They have taken several production liberties. There are all these extensive pieces and all that. So if that's the case, then I'm going to need some substance. There's no meat on the bone yet.
Okay, we're coming back.
Out of regular dog food.
We'll be scooping our Dynamite onto the food, then squirting the liquor chops and the fish oil. They start salivating.
Dynamite is nutrition.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
It's a lot of responsibility owning a dog. I get my Dynamite at DINOVITE.com.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
Get you caught up on some of these texts here. Florida has a death rate of 463 people per million. Michigan has a death rate of 663 per million. If we looked more like Florida, then a lot less people would have died. That's from an unnamed texter. Now everything just froze up on me, of course. The fake American Democrats always whine about losing our democracy, but what happened when 70% of America was against Obama and his unaffordable health care? 32 states voted against, well, I can't read the rest of that. Come on now. Bob in St. Clair Shores. Oh, now I can't read that either. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's get back to the phones. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Highland and Gail. Good morning, Gail.
How are you?
Hi, Gail.
I wanted to talk about Unlock Michigan. I don't know if you heard some of the governor's comments yesterday about our group.
Oh, yeah, we played the audio earlier.
She is really lying through her teeth about what we're doing. I am out every week getting signatures, and I've never lied to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I've never coerced anyone. And people are lining up to sign this petition, and about half of the ones that are signing are asking where the recall petition is for her. There's a lot of anger out there, and she doesn't realize that people want to be responsible for themselves. We can keep ourselves safe. We don't need our Mother Whitmer telling us what to do.
What's the goal? What's the target amount of signatures? Is it 500,000?
We need 340, but we want to have 500, so it's so overwhelming that they've got to push this thing along. What they're finding is that the quality of the signatures that we're getting are 92% good, which they say is the highest they've ever seen in one of these types of campaigns. Everybody's doing a thorough job of making sure the signatures are done properly, and so they'll count.
Gail, let me ask you a question. So are you an organizer? Or are you a petition gatherer? What's your role?
I'm just an ordinary. I ordered petitions to my house to have signed. I had trouble getting signatures in my neighborhood because it was a lot of Democrats. And so I'm working one day a week at a gun shop, collecting signatures there. We have 50,000 people who are out in the state right now collecting signatures in various ways.
All right, so let me ask you this, and I just want to play devil's advocate here with you for just a second. Are you worried about removing this type of law for future governors, like Governor Whitmer said yesterday? So for Republican governors in place, is this a law that you just want gone completely?
Yes, because if we have another emergency, we still have the 1976 law.
Correct.
Gives any governor the right to emergency powers for 28 days. And then after that point, they have to work with the legislature. So there's no risk of taking this 1945 law away.
Right.
Except to Whitmer. That's
Right.
where the risk is.
Right.
And, you know, we've got to get this done, and we've got to get it done quickly because the Democrats are attacking us. The person who started this whole Unlock Michigan group is a chiropractor by the name of Garrett Soldano out of Kalamazoo. And his clinic was attacked this morning. They destroyed his outside sign with a sledgehammer.
Wow.
People are getting nasty.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know?
Gail. Yeah, Gail, I appreciate the call. Thank you for that. 800-859-0957 of Rochester Hills. And John, good morning, John. Hey, John. John, you there? All right, let's put John on hold. Let's go to Pamela in Beverly Hills. Good morning, Pamela.
Good morning.
Hey.
First, I want to point out something. Flint has been under Democratic control for decades. So let's remember that, as with the cities that are failing. Number two, I'm just a regular grandmother who's collecting signatures, and we were told we had to collect more because the Democrats were falsifying signatures. I think you see this transference with Democrats so often where their behavior, they push on another group, and there's nothing illegal about it.
Right. Well, the governor claims it's unscrupulous behavior, and they're collecting them illegally. That's the charge.
What's the unscrupulous, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's very straightforward. It's right there, and people are not stupid.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you. Appreciate the call. 800-859-0957. Let's go to George in Detroit. Good morning, George.
Morning, Chris. I gave you a hard time the other day about Democratic and Democrat. All right. You know, it's like, oh, you're training your call. You say it, and you're training your callers. They follow suit too. You know, like little puppy dogs, and you got them saying Democrat now too. Well,
right.
That's what I always say. I always tell people, don't call the Democratic Party the Democratic Party. Call it the Democrat Party, because they're not democratic.
Well, and how about last night, like Barack Obama referred to our country as a democracy multiple times.
Yeah, right. And it's not they do that all the time. They love to do that. Now, we're a constitutionally limited representative republic. Otherwise, Hillary would be, you know, the president. But it is a democratic form of government, but it's not a straight democracy.
Correct.
Well, that's the problem. But to me, I can prove the Democrats aren't democratic. Excuse me. And here's how I do it. Now, what are the two words they love to use? You know, the socialists, the communists, the Democrats, the left.
Free.
No, yeah, that one too. Two magic words: fairness and equity, equality. Who can argue against that? You know, we're democratic and majority rules, and you know this and that and whatever. Well, anybody that followed the hoax impeachment thing knows. Now, a caller called in to the Mitch Albom show and said the Democrats have got the Republicans shut out, and they're shutting their mouth, and they're not even letting them talk. They're in the basement, locked in the basement, and you know, they're just being unfair, and it's not right. And both Mitch and Kenny said, "Oh, what are you talking about? Who told you that?" No, that's not going on. That's exactly when. That's why they got Adam Schiff to replace Jerry Nadler. Jerry Nadler was the judiciary head, but the intelligence head was Adam Schiff. So with Adam Schiff being the intelligence intelligence head. He has an intelligence clearing higher than most of the House, and some of the Republicans had it, a handful of them. So he took them, locked them in the basement, and then he made the rules because the House is the majority. So that's why they made him that. So only the Republicans with a intelligence clearance could do that. So the perfect so he was shutting them down. He shut them down actually later in the hearing, and then shut people down that were testifying.
Back when they were back when they were investigating Russia. Hey, George, I'm up against it. I got to run, but thanks for the call. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. And at 10:56, out to the roadways we go. We get an update there with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast, The Pete and Sebastian Show. The Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Corielli and Sebastian Maniscalco. It's your two favorite Italian-American comedians, bringing you nonstop laughs and outrageous stories from the snapshots of their everyday lives. Find The Pete and Sebastian Show wherever you listen to podcasts.
Earlier incident 94 westbound between Michigan Avenue and US 23. All lanes are now open. It had been closed due to an accident. That incident, once again, is clear. And looking at construction, US 23 northbound at White Lake Road, the left lane is closed for construction until 3 p.m. today. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where not only do you pick your payment, but you now pick your program. Need to pull ahead your lease? Do you need GM employee pricing or low payment with zero interest? Let Gordon Chevrolet help you find it on Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Lots of sunshine once again today. Nice, comfortable 80 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, low 63. Lots of sunshine once again on Friday and a high of 86. Sunshine, 73 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
I don't understand it, and it frustrates me. Why are people still taking drugs, getting injections, and having unnecessary...
That one guy liked it.
Are you ready to start living a pain-free life?
Not ready to go.
All right. Let's see here.
248-879-1100.
Oh, is Michael there too?
Michael is here
today. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he'll be making a surprise visit back in one of the segments again. Like
good
for you,
Barb. Great job, guys. Jim, come on, man. Repeal and replace Obamacare. Wait, that was last election campaign. No, we can't look at Harper's Bar. Look at the Traverse City Brewery, who's begging people to be adults. I sought out the petition. No one had to convince me to sign. The group sent an email saying because of the emergency declaration, our children are in danger because of the sex offender registry lawsuit. I hadn't seen that. Mark, thank you. Very nice of you. What were you talking about something on here before? What else? What did you say you had to ask me a question?
No, I asked you the question that was about Whitmer, and then we talked about starting a biker gang. And
the biker gang.
And I was also going to ask you, I think we talked about it before the show, that I was listening to another podcast, and they had asked the guest about what was the guest's first job, and that got me to thinking, I don't know what your first job was. What was your first job that you had? How did your first job get you interested in the radio business, or did your first job have like nothing to do at all with radio?
My first job, I was 16 and I worked at Subway.
Oh, really? So you were a sandwich artist?
I was a sandwich artist. Yes.
Okay.
I worked at Subway. Yep. I was a sandwich artist. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. No, I never met, what's his name?
Jared.
Never met Jared.
All right.
That's generally the next question after somebody asks me my first job.
Now, can you confirm this? I have heard rumors that there is a special Subway black card that they give to celebrities and spokespeople that give you a lifetime free Subway.
I'm not aware of such card. I am not a card-carrying member of the Subway Black Club.
Okay.
I don't have that.
So,
I mean, I assume though, if you're a sponsor, or if you're a celebrity or whatever, you probably could get Subway whenever you'd like.
Yeah, because who's the latest guy that does the $5 subs they brought back?
Wasn't Indomitian Sue a Subway guy for a while?
He might have been.
I
I'm
think
trying
he
to think
was.
of the singer that is currently in the Subway commercials, and I can't remember his name.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't see a lot of Subway commercials anymore.
No?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I can't tell you last time I saw a Subway commercial.
So
again, I watch most of my stuff on record, so I just usually
fast forward through it. Okay. Yeah. So from Subway, where did you go?
I actually worked at Subway for a lot of years because, like, it was, so I worked at Subway for a couple years, like in high school.
All right.
And then I went to college, so I didn't work. And I came home, and then I, like, during breaks and stuff, I'd come back to Subway. So my Subway career was a few years. Yeah, I was there for a while. Yeah. And then I just did different things. I worked, then I started getting into the radio business. So I was doing some radio stuff and whatever. So, well, no, that wouldn't have, I would have been in Subway before I got into radio. But anyway, yes, the deep state of Subway, you're right. It is deep. It is deep. Although I can tell you, because just having worked there for so long and having made millions of subs, I could probably go back right now and make anything except for like the new stuff. I don't know the new stuff, but like anything on like their normal menu, I could make any of it.
So you could go cold cut combo.
Oh yeah.
Well,
the cold cuts were already like pre-made. They were like, you just got to like flip it onto the sandwich.
Steak and cheese.
Like if you want a BLT, it's 4 pieces of ham and then 6 pieces of salami and pepperoni. You see, always 4 pieces of cheese on a foot long, 2 on a 6-inch. I mean, I could do the whole thing. If you want olives, it's 6 olives.
Really? Was it annoying to keep on saying, do you want cheese? Do you want this toasted?
Yes.
What about the people that came in that said they wanted the bread hollowed out?
I didn't honor that request.
You did not honor that request.
No, I'd have to give that to somebody else.
Okay.
One of my other employees.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. Here this, and I as a younger man, I was there would be things that would anger me. Like, for example, when somebody would come in and they'd have like a little kid with them and they would say, okay, what do you want on your sub? What do you want, a ham or a turkey? And then they would like ask the 3-year-old. The 3-year-old doesn't know. The 3-year-old doesn't care. It just wants something to put in its face. That's it.
Okay.
And so that always drove me nuts. And now, as somebody with a little one, as a kid, I couldn't fathom going to a restaurant and go, do you want onions on that? Do you like lettuce? Do you want hold on. Do you want tomatoes? Like, that is crazy to me. That's crazy.
I'm kind of I never worked in the food business, in the food industry. So
it was the only food I had never done anything else in food. That was it.
Okay.
The steak is interesting because it was like it came in like a bag, so you got to like weigh it. So it's like based on ounces. Yeah. So it's like, and then again, you'd have to put like 2 containers of a thing on there. But yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
to get a 6-inch
correct.
Full on.
Yes,
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
But back in the day, Subway was the only game in town. Now there's a different sub shop on every corner.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch.
So much competition now.
Yes, correct. What do you got? You got Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, You
got Jimmy John's. You got Penn Station.
Yep.
You got Potbellies.
Yeah.
You got a whole bunch, and they're all good for a sandwich. If you need a quick sandwich or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. Exactly. You get what I get you.
Exactly.
I don't talk to him like that.
You're that. You're that parent.
Eat it. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
There you go.
Here's your order for Patrick.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming back.
Whether it's by the pot or by the cup, they have the brand you love with the service you expect. Let Absolpure make staying hydrated and fueled the easiest part of getting back to business. Visit Absolpure.com/WJR or call 1-800-4-ABSOPURE to learn more about Absolpure products and to sign up for safe, convenient, zero-contact delivery service. That's Absolpure.com/WJR or call 800-4-ABSOPURE.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. I'll tell you what, let's get right back to the phones. We got some folks on hold. Let's go to Charlene and Troy. Good morning, Charlene.
Right. Good morning, Chris.
Hey.
Well, I just wanted to, I was glad people were talking about how this is a constitutionally limited republic, besides the fact that the Democrats are constantly saying we're a democracy, which we're not. And, I get sick and tired of listening to them talk about the Constitution when they're constantly doing everything they can to subvert our rights to the Constitution. I mean, they're already talking about this treaty with the small arms treaty that would take away our gun rights. The way the Constitution works is that a treaty becomes the supreme law of the land. So if they get a treaty, regardless of our Second Amendment rights, that treaty would become the supreme law of the land and would take away our gun rights. And then they use the laws that they have, the powers they have over the banks, to try to stop the banks from giving loans to these gun businesses. Every business at some point needs to have loans because they have loans in their businesses, so they need loans to keep them going until business picks up. Mm-hmm. And the government puts pressure on these banks not to give them loans, to try to put these businesses, gun businesses, out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that to me is disgraceful. They're there to protect our rights, not to subvert our rights. But that's what these Democrats do.
Yeah. Hey, good call, Charlene. Thank you. 800-859-0957. Let's go down to Cincinnati, Ohio, and talk to Julie. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Occasionally, I pick up the Sunday New York Times just to get my blood pressure up once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading the engagements and weddings.
Okay.
And there, I could not believe it. It was a picture of Governor Whitmer, and she hosted a wedding at the governor's mansion on Mackinac Island, July 4th weekend. It was in the Sunday New York Times. So it's easy, a picture of her and friends and all that stuff.
She was up there July 4th weekend. I thought that was not there was no I hadn't seen any information to believe that was true.
Well, if you look at the first Sunday in August, New York Times, the weddings and engagements, I have it on my dining room table. A picture of her hosting a wedding.
All right, we'll look it up. We'll look for it, Julie.
Somebody also said there was a graduation party she hosted too, Memorial Day weekend, but that I don't have. That's not. I don't have that one.
All right. Well, we'll do some digging on it, Julie. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Lyndon and Roland. Good morning, Roland.
Good morning, Chris.
Hey.
Governor Whitmer absolutely knows that she has to get legislative approval to extend her state of emergency because she went before them twice. If she thought she could just willy-nilly extend it without going before the legislature, then why did she go before them twice?
Well, sure. That's a fair question. And I think she tried, but she didn't want to go on that 2-week basis. She didn't want to do that.
Well, and the thing is, if she knows that she has to go before them, then she knows that what she's doing now is wrong. And the other thought I had...
Well, at least she knows that she'll be held accountable.
Oh, yeah. Well, every extension is 28 days. Okay?
Correct.
So every 28 days, she has to go back. Now, if you look at her latest illegal extension, it's not 28 days. It was supposed to end on, August 11th?
Yes.
And she extended it until September 4th. That's not 28 days. So she's making it up as she goes along.
Well, she extended it again, is what she did.
Absolutely, she did.
Yeah.
And it's illegal. And any executive order that she has that's using the state of emergency as its basis, and I confirmed this with my legislator's office, her executive orders are also null and void because they have no foundation.
Well, I guess that's what the lawsuit is trying to figure out, right? And again, I know. We'll see how it plays out, but we already know that one judge said it's not illegal because it is on the books. So
yeah,
again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not somebody that can go down that road with a lot of confidence. But I can tell you, we will have to just wait and see. And it sounds like there's the Court of Appeals is supposed to rule on that, I believe, this week. So,
and I think that's why we're going before the state Supreme Court, and we'll get a final answer.
You got it. That's right, Roland. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Let's go to Shelby Township and Greg. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, C-Note, Mr. Positive. I got to say thank you, George from Detroit, for mentioning me in Super Rosita yesterday on the Guy Gordon show. Real quick, Guy Gordon talks out of it. I love when he does that. Barack Obama talks out of the side of his mouth. He said that the policies that Trump implements are nothing, but if you agree or disagree, Trump has made something that Obama, the continuum of the economic system, prosper even more greatly. So how can Obama say that Trump's policies are nothingsville, where Trump, if you agree or disagree, Trump has made what Obama possibly started even greater or better? Obama's talking out of both sides of his mouth. Yes, he's a great orator, and he knows how to handle himself, whether he's reading it from a platform or whatever. But I got to tell you, Trump has a lot of problems. He's got a lot of issues. God, does he have a lot of issues, and I've said it a million times. But he's looking out for America, and that's what's the most important thing.
All right, Greg, thank you. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, 1113. Out to the roadways we go with our Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast, The Pete and Sebastian Show. The Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Corielli and Sebastian Maniscalco. It's your two favorite Italian-American comedians, bringing you nonstop laughs and outrageous stories from the snapshots of their everyday lives. Find The Pete and Sebastian Show wherever you listen to podcasts.
Got a minute? Want the latest on how COVID-19 is impacting business and the economy?
Slow ride along 96 westbound between Milford Road and Kent Lake Road. Also seeing construction blocking the right lane today. That's along the Lodge northbound between McNichols and 7 Mile. The right lane is closed. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. In your changed work environment, maximize space and increase performance in your manufacturing facility, warehouse, school, or home with Shelving.com's durable wire metal shelving and pallet racks. Order today at Shelving.com. Get a free warehouse safety pallet rack. Survey and 11% off at Shelving.com. We rack your world.
Plenty of sunshine now. Seeing a few clouds at times. Otherwise, gorgeous afternoon. Very pleasant, cool. 77. Overnight tonight, 57. And it looks like sunshine will be back tomorrow, 81. Friday, sunshine in the upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
This is good news when you need it to.
Is waiving their new member fees. This could save you money on top of all that you'll save each month by becoming a member.
A lot of people, Chris, giving you their Subway orders.
All right, let's see here. Let's see.
Typical family saves
What we got?
$500 a month.
Well, the first one was Patrick.
Medishare is a Christian community that shares each
Sweet onion chicken teriyaki is a very popular sandwich. At least when I was there over a decade ago.
additional $170 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second. And
yeah.
You can get a
And then
Just tell them the promo
Clay
share
had
additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make
for his supper last night.
There you go. Very good.
My brother also calls it supper. I find that to be such an old word. It's dinner. Supper's like from like the 50s.
Yeah.
Supper.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jim has a question for you.
Yeah. What does BMT stand for? I know this. BMT, I believe, stands for the Brooklyn to Manhattan Transit. And that particular sandwich whenever Subway was before it was a thing, he would make a sandwich, and I think that was the ingredients he'd use, like whatever the pepperoni, salami, and ham, and he would wrap it up, and he would eat it on the BMT.
Oh, okay.
On the Subway. You see?
Got it. All right.
See? I'm almost 90% sure that's right.
Okay.
I think that's right.
All right.
Patrick, what Unlock Michigan sent out was factual. It started that the Sex Registry Act was not enforceable until the Emergency Act ended. The Eastern District Court of Michigan upheld that ruling. Look it up. Let's see. Like ketchup, that's terrible, Clay.
Apparently you're correct because he says you are the man. So
is that right? I don't know. Does Jim know?
I don't know because Jim also earlier said this.
Yeah.
News updates. 1 minute.
Yep. Okay.
So. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's right. Look it up. Will you look it up, please?
I will look it up, and I will have an answer for you next
All right.
break.
Fair enough.
All righty.
Radio show on News Talk 760 WJR.
WJR's Business Beat, weekday mornings at 7:11. Startup Nation's Jeff Sloan talks small business and entrepreneurs with Paul W. Smith. Brought to you by My Bank, Southeast Michigan's newest bank built for business and the busy people who run them. Visit them at mi.bank.
George Clifford here of Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, reminding you to call us for all your furnace and air conditioning and electrical needs. We also install and service whole house natural gas generators, water heaters, and we do a variety of electrical services too. With 3 Metro Detroit locations, we'll service you quickly and professionally. Go online at familyheating.com. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. That's familyheating.com.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now, in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Let's get back to your phone calls. Let's go to Lee in Camden. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Sure,
I just have a statement as far as I think I know what the Democratic plan is, and that is to get Biden and Harris into office, and within a short time, 3 to 6 months, they'll have Biden either declared incompetent or unable to serve, and then Harris will come in as their president, and who do you think she'll have as her vice president? I guess we've all got to pray. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it, Lee. I have trouble looking past the fact that if Joe Biden gets elected, I don't think Joe Biden's going to try to serve out the term. I don't think it's a bait and switch. And maybe I'm naive, but I really don't. You think it's the bait and switch, huh?
Yes, I do.
Interesting.
I wholeheartedly do. If you watch his health over the last 6 months, you can see a slow decline. And they're keeping him out of being tested for anything, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I think it is a bait and switch.
Interesting. All right, Lee, well, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. Yeah, I mean, look, there's no doubt. I mean, again, I am in complete agreement that they're trying to keep him out of the public. They're trying to keep him away from journalists or interviews that would ask him real questions. They just are. And again, why is that? Go back and look at any of the things that he said that are just off the wall crazy. I mean, like, I'm Joe Biden, and if you don't like me, vote for the other Biden. I'm Joe Biden, I'm running for the United States Senate. These are all as he's running for president. I mean, at some point, you got to get him out there. He's got to talk. He's got to answer questions. And if he wants to dance around them, fine. But we can't allow, we should not stand by and just be okay with the fact that he's not out answering questions. Let's go to Oak Park and Donna. Good morning, Donna.
Well, good morning. I just wanted to comment on a few things that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
One is I am a challenger for the absentee voters, and I was in Detroit at PFC, and yes, we did see voter fraud, and they're taking it to the next level. The second thing I wanted...
Well, wait, Donna, tell me about that. How is that happening?
Well, it was, they opened ballots without checking the names off. That's just one example, without checking the names off of the voter log, and that's against the law, and we witnessed it. So there's, I don't want to speak more about it because they're taking it to the next level. The second thing I want to say is I was at the Woodward Dream Cruise for the people put the Trump signs on, and we did the MAGA cruise, and Black Lives Matter people came up and F-bombed us, and so we stood back, and we had to call the police, and they said they had freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
So having said that, I want to remind everyone that there is a Putin person who hated Putin, and he's in a coma, thinking it was on the news that they think he has been poisoned because he said disparaging things against Putin. So to all the people out there, we're the only country in the world that has freedom of speech. So the Black Lives Matter guy said, I can say what I want, F-bombed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy who's in a coma who said something against the Russian premier, Vladimir Putin, and he's in a coma. So just kind of think about the freedom we have to say whatever you want about anybody in office or anybody, except for calling fire in a theater. And I just want to point that out. So if you want your freedom, and if the Black Lives Matter people want their ability to say what they want to say, they better vote for Trump. Because if we go the other way, we're going to lose all of our freedom.
Sure. Thank you, Donna. And the story that you're referring to, Alexei Navalny is the opposition leader in Russia. And he is suspected to have been poisoned, allegedly. 44. Felt sick on his flight back to Moscow from a city in Siberia and was rushed to a hospital after the plane made an emergency landing. And he is in coma in grave condition, according to a report I'm reading here. This is the New York Post. So yes, that is something that is in the news today, and I know still more information is coming about on that, so we'll keep an eye on it. All right, let's go to Windsor and Dave. Good morning, Dave.
How you doing?
Hey, Dave.
So I have a bit of a theory that I'll build off of what Lee had called about a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what you've seen is a very carefully orchestrated series of events where you have Sanders up front, who actually cleared the field for Biden to obtain the nomination.
Mm-hmm.
Biden's going to get to the other side of the debates. I don't know how they're going to get him there, but they'll get him to the other side of the debates. I think at that point, you're going to see Biden come clean and announce that he's probably received a diagnosis and that he can't continue. Now, I don't know if I'm correct on this, but I believe at that point, Kamala Harris does not become the nominee automatically, but instead it triggers a function in the Democratic Party where the superdelegates have to come together and they produce a new nominee. I believe at that point, you will see Hillary Clinton come back into the picture, and they will put her in front of the cameras and in front of the country and indicate to the world that she is the one person who's ready, able, and willing to carry the mantle. They're going to tout her as some kind of a hero of the Democratic Party, And people think it's nuts, like Hillary's not going to be involved again. How is it possible? They already didn't vote for her once. There's all that controversy in place. It's fresh in the minds of all the Democrats. They all want her back in. They just won't say it up front. But they're going to get her in place after the debate so that she cannot be confronted in the way that's important. And people will, at that point, have to start doing their own investigating. And
Well, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. But I'll tell you, this is my feelings on it, Dave. Is I feel like she couldn't beat Trump the first time, and I feel like the Democrats feel that she's damaged goods at this point. I think if they,
because you got this whole argument where she wins the popular vote, and I know, even as a Canadian, I know it doesn't matter if you win the popular vote. You got to win the electoral vote. But the problem is that you have all those people that are bitter who are still arguing that she should have won because of the popular vote. And the Democrats are obviously arguing about the value of the popular vote over the electoral college.
Sure.
And they want her in badly because the fact is she's one of the people who is in control behind the scenes.
All right, Dave, that's an interesting thought. Thank you. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text at 11:27. Out to the roadways we go with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast, The Pete and Sebastian Show. The Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Correale and Sebastian Maniscalco. It's your two favorite Italian-American comedians, bringing you nonstop laughs and outrageous stories from the snapshots of their everyday lives. Find The Pete and Sebastian Show wherever you listen to podcasts.
Watching a new accident reported in Detroit. It's along 94 westbound west of East Outer Drive. The left lane is blocked. Slow drive 96 westbound between Milford and Kent Lake Road. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Generous Pour event at the Capitol Grill. Wine lovers announcing this year's Generous Pour event at the Capitol Grill for just $28 with dinner. You'll enjoy 7 remarkable varietals from the wine enthusiast winemaker of the year, Dave Finney. Enjoy at the Capitol Grill or in your own home. Call 248-649-5300 or visit thecapitolgrill.com. Great day on tap again this Thursday, a high of 80, sunshine. Tonight, clear skies, low 63. Sunny, 73 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Tune in at 3 p.m. every Saturday for the Veterans Perspective with host MVAA Director Zenata Adams. Presented by the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. Veterans Perspective, Saturdays at 3 on News Talk 760 WJR.
Have you been told you need spine surgery or just sick of living in pain? The Disc Institute has a proven, painless alternative. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to a herniated, degenerative, or bulging disc, then you actually have 2 problems. 1, your pain, and 2, your bad disc. Drugs, therapies, epidurals, and new pain lasers are designed.
What about
Michael?
What about my bald spot?
Your bald spot? Oh, Mike has I didn't see that. You have a bald spot, Michael?
I don't know. Hold on. Do you see it?
So. No.
That's my swirl.
Oh, your swirl.
I guess there's like a little swirl. Hold on. How far does this thing go, Dave? Not very far. Oh. So, Chris.
Hello, Michael.
Hi. Look at I hope that's gravy leaking out of my Chinese food, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Dave. I just take over. So what's up, Chris? How's the show going?
Oh, I don't know. It's going pretty good, I think.
Good. I understand you guys are looking for the Tom Brenneman audio.
Yes. Do you have that?
Yeah, you guys will have that coming up here.
Oh, good.
Meaning of this, please, right here.
What?
Give Chris the meaning of BMT.
BMT. Why am I reading this this description of the Subway BMT, Chris?
I don't know. It's important.
Biggest, meatiest, tastiest, which is how I described myself back when I was online dating. Subway's best-selling sandwich, the BMT, contains pepperoni, salami, and ham.
Uh-huh.
The name originally stood for Brooklyn Manhattan Transit. Subway also sells breakfast sandwiches, English muffins, and flatbreads. If you didn't know, is this a live read? Am I getting paid for this?
Yes, the BMT.
What am I settling a bet or something?
So that was my first job, was working at Subway.
Oh,
And somebody on here asked if I knew what BMT stood for.
Yeah.
And I thought I knew, and that's what I had thrown out there.
Well, that's something you don't want to Google at work without going incognito, just in case.
True.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's right. You were a sandwich artist.
I was a sandwich artist. Yep.
That seems like a stressful job. Like when I go in there, there'll be like a line of like 5 people, and there's only one person making sandwiches. That's a lot of pressure.
And they're sweaty, and they're like it is what it is, as Michelle Obama would say.
Right. You know who the worst people are, though, are the people who go in. I think if you order more than 3 sandwiches at Subway without calling ahead, you're a bad person.
Yeah, you should be arrested.
Yeah, I agree. I hope Joe Biden addresses that in his speech tonight. That's really.
I was telling Dave earlier, the thing that I most hated about Subway is when somebody would come in with their kid, and the kid was so little they'd be below the glass, you couldn't even see him.
Right.
And they'd be like, "What do you want? Do you want a ham? A turkey? Do you want?" Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Do you want pickles?
Yeah.
Pickles? Do you like tomato? And like they would do this whole thing. And now, as somebody who has a kid,
right,
I'm like, here's what's going to happen: is I'm going to get you something, and you're going to put it in your mouth. Then that's it.
Right. So it's sort of like this: like, what do you want? No, they don't have peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. Yes.
She wants peanut butter and jelly. Could you put, then they talk to you like they're a translator, like when I was communicating with you through Dave.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Look how bored Dave looks with me talking to you.
I enjoy it.
He's very upset.
Yeah.
He feels like you're stepping.
I know. Well, he's the one who asked me if I wanted to pop on for a cameo.
Oh, that's nice. Do you get paid for cameo?
No, I wish. I wish. Some people's cameo are going for way more than they deserve.
Yeah, it's funny. I've looked at that a number of times because like I think it would be a good gift for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But like the people that are on there are like insane.
Right.
And they're so expensive.
Right. And literally all they're doing is just talking to their cell phone for like a minute, and then they're like, okay, that'll be $300.
You're right. You're like, no, thank you.
For himself or for the for the DNC?
No, just for himself.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. If you're a man in your 70s and you can eat 200 sandwiches without dying,
right?
That's
you
the man
to be president.
Yeah, that's the man I want staring down China in negotiations.
I just wanted to let you know that I once ate 200 Subway sandwiches in a weekend.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. And then like,
China would be like, no.
Yeah. So you have to eat 201 or else you lose by default.
30 seconds.
Oh, we're back in 30.
funny.
I'm going to go clean up this Chinese food mess. And you guys have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, Michael. We'll see you.
Thank you, David, for letting me use your equipment.
Detroit locations will service you quickly and professionally. Go online at familyheating.com. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. That's familyheating.com.
Here's your chance to talk to the doctor. Tune in tonight at 7:05 p.m. to listen to renowned physicians, surgeons, and other medical experts share their expertise on the live 1-hour Colander Medical Radio Show on News Talk 760 WJR.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
So I don't know if you saw this last night. It kind of was breaking late. But it was an unbelievable scene. I had never seen anything like this in all my years in broadcasting and watching sports. But Tom Brenneman is a widely known, very famous play-by-play announcer. He is the play-by-play voice on television for the Cincinnati Reds. And actually, if you've watched any Lions games, he's done Lions games too. During the broadcast, last night of the game. Brenneman used a homophobic slur. He thought he was off. He didn't think his mic was on, but it picked it up. And then a couple seconds later, he went into, right back into his broadcast into the game. And it was stunning to hear, first of all. But the real stunning part was his apology in the same game. Later on, somebody must have told him that he got picked up on his hot mic and this homophobic slur was out there. And so Brenneman, somebody must have told him, he's got to get off the air. So he issued an apology. And it was the most unbelievable apology I've ever heard, where this guy's career is probably over. And he gets on and starts this apology while calling the game. Do we have this audio, Richard? I believe we do. I want to play this apology for you because it was unbelievable. So here's Tom Brenneman last night at the Cincinnati Reds game. All right, we don't have it yet. Let me break it down for you a little bit here. So he starts his apology, but in the middle of his apology, he's literally calling the game. So Nick Castellanos, of course, the former Tiger, is up to bat, and he hits a long fly ball. So Brenneman is going, here's look, I'm so sorry. I'm a man of faith. As there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, it'll be a home run. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to put this headset on again. I mean, it was crazy. All right, here we got the Brenneman on. So here it is. Tom Brenneman last night. Well, okay, we thought we had it. But it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Where it was literally, I mean, I felt like this guy's career is over, and he's like in the middle of calling the game. And then they finally had a replacement come up and replace him. But it was unbelievable. And we'll try to get it for you here in just a moment. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. Let's go to Len in Royal Oak. Good morning, Len.
Morning. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yep, you got it. What can I do for you?
Well, I just wanted to comment on the general election. I don't subscribe to any of the conspiracy theories, but more than anything, and don't get me wrong, I've never met the man. I'm not a Trump fan. But as far as policy for the country, I support him, and he is the president. More than anything, just as people will vote against Trump by crossing over, I feel I'd be voting against the Democratic machine by voting for Trump. And it just seems like some of the politics they're playing dates way back to Mayor Daley in Cook County, Illinois. It's disheartening.
So do you feel like you have a good idea on how you're voting? Have you made up your mind already?
Definitely, and I think it's given a pretty good hint of which way I'm leaning.
Sure. But and again, I've harped on it a lot, and I'll continue to beat the drum. I just think it's irresponsible from the campaign, from the Democratic Party, to not put Joe Biden out there and have him answer questions, and worse yet, allow 30 states to send in their ballots even before a debate. I find that to be unbelievable.
Well, even if Biden holds office for the full term, it seems as though there's power behind the throne, so to speak, that he's just a puppet.
Yeah. All right, Len. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Chuck in Franklin. Go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, hey, hi, Chris.
Hey.
Look,
I heard you talk a moment ago about crazy. Sure, Joe Biden has said some things like that over the years. But I mean, it was just yesterday in a press conference that President Trump is talking about QAnon and how he's really grateful for their support. This is beyond crazy.
Yes, that was stupid.
Listeners who believe in that stuff.
No, I agree. I think that was. I don't know why. I don't understand the rationale behind that.
Yeah, it's disqualifying for me. Well, I got to the stage of disqualification about a year ago. So.
Well, and look, but going back to Joe Biden, it's not even stuff that he said, in the past. This is stuff that he said while he's running for president. I mean, that's the concerning part. And again, it's the same thing look, because the president is already in office, he's already got a platform. You're already going to hear what he has to say, and he at least has some sort of evidence to go off of on what he's going to do. You may not like it, or people may not like it, but at least he's telling you what it is. But Joe Biden we haven't been privy to any of those conversations.
Well, I certainly don't know what Trump's healthcare plan is, and I don't know what his infrastructure plan is, and I don't know much about anything else about Trump for a second term. And he's not going to get my vote this time, that's for sure, which is a change from 2016.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I don't think you're alone. But at the same time, I feel, and look, even for Donald Trump, I feel it's important for them to debate. I feel it's important for them to get in front of journalists and ask questions. I mean, that to me is the only responsible way to do this. And unfortunately, we haven't been there yet. So, Chuck, I appreciate the call. Thank you. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. We got to take a quick break. We'll check in with Dana Clark and traffic here at 11:42 on the Frank Beckmann Show. Chris Renwick filling in. Dana, take it away.
Traffic first sponsored by Wallstrom Marine. Trade in and trade up with Wallstrom Marine. Customize a brand new 2021 Sea Ray Pursuit, Chris Craft, Tiara, Crest Pontoons, or Sea-Doo with Wallstrom Marine. Trade your current vessel in and get all winterization and storage fees waived. Visit Wallstrom.com or any of their 5 northern Michigan locations. Still watching an earlier situation, stop and go traffic along 96 westbound between Milford and Kent Lake Road. And an accident in Detroit 94 westbound west of East Outer Drive. It blocks a left lane. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com, a Michigan family business offering Detroit-made durable Unirack brand pallet racking. Maximize space in your manufacturing facility, warehouse, school, and home. Celebrate 60 years with Shelving.com. Get a free warehouse safety pallet rack survey and 11% off at Shelving.com. We rack your world.
Sunshine everywhere. Maybe a few clouds early to mid-afternoon, and daytime highs will be slightly below average, 77. Tonight, back into the upper 50s, 57 degrees. Suburbs will be cooler. This morning saw some upper 40s to our north. Sunshine tomorrow, 81. Friday, sunshine, 88. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
Senior Financial Center's David Bartman.
The COVID.
Patrick, you got a cameo for your wife. Who did you get?
In some cases, that might mean moving up your retirement.
Well, it's under apology. I would say do one of two things if you guys want to play it.
David, Chris, you mentioned the Tom Brenneman story at the bottom of the hour at 9:30. I can't find anything on the internet. Who is he or what is he? Tom Brenneman is a play-by-play announcer for the Cincinnati Reds, but he also does like NFL football, he'll do Detroit Lions football for Fox broadcast. And last night he used a homophobic slur during a commercial break where he thought his mic was off and they were not. He thought his mic was off and they weren't on the air, but his mic was on and they were on the air. And so a couple hours goes by and somebody must have gotten word to him that he's got to get off the air. And so he starts this apology like, I'm so sorry I said this. I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm a religious man. And then he's like calling the game. And he's like, and in the middle of his apology, like literally in the middle, like
a member of MediShare.
The quote is,
For a healthcare solution right now, seeing the cost of COVID.
I pride myself and I think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, that'll be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again, Brenneman said. Like it was a seamless transition of apology and something that could be just melting his career away, and calling the game. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
We also have a breaking news story that just came from USA Today that says that a federal judge rejects Trump's efforts to block Manhattan DA's subpoena for tax returns.
Oh, okay.
So that also just came through.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice.
Speaking of Nick Castellanos, how good is that guy doing for the Reds now that the Tigers got rid of him?
Oh, yeah.
That guy is doing very well.
Yeah. He's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Not bad. All right. Currently updating your caller list here for the last segment, too.
Okay.
We had a little bit of a scramble there for a second.
Technical glitch. All right, man. Today flew by. I got to tell you. My goodness.
Knock out of the park tomorrow with you're going to be up till 4 a.m. after Biden
I'll be up. I may not even sleep tomorrow.
After Biden talks tonight.
Yeah, jeez.
Exactly. 1 minute. All right, we're coming back.
Senior Financial Center's David Bartman.
The COVID crisis is having a ripple effect on our economy, forcing many Americans to make difficult decisions. In some cases, that might mean moving up your retirement. Many local companies are having to cut expenses, and they're doing that by offering buyouts and early retirement packages. The question for you is, should you accept? Before agreeing to any offer, the Senior Financial Center wants you to step back and take a deep breath. Make sure that you understand all of your options and how each of them would affect your long-term financial future. This is an important decision. You owe it to yourself and your family to make sure you get it right. Here at the Senior Financial Center, we're on your side. If we can help reduce some of the stress, give us a call and we'd be happy to help. We'll go over your options with you virtually, by phone, internet, or in person. Our phone number is 1-800-452-0208 or go online to srfcenter.com. Again, the number is 1-800-452-0208.
Charles and David Bartman are licensed in Michigan for the products they sell.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. You see the latest on this Goodyear story, too? So apparently there's new audio somewhere out there from a training session in Topeka at the plant there. And apparently in this audio, you can hear somebody saying, Democrat, Republican, Trump, Biden, Sanders, whatever, that will no longer allowed to be, longer be allowed in the plant. The new audio is from a training session at a Goodyear plant in Topeka and sheds more light on conversations with employees about the company's zero tolerance policy. A photo leaked of that meeting and had a list of unacceptable and acceptable workplace attire and things of that ilk. And it looked like they were talking specifically about masks. The person went on to say, some people may wish to express their views on social justice or equity issues such as Black Lives Matter or LGBTQ pride on their face covering shirts or wristbands. That will be deemed approved because it applies with a zero tolerance stance. However, if any associate wears all blue, white Lives Matter shirts or face coverings, that will not be appropriate. Let's try to comply with these so you know everybody feels good in this factory. I want to make sure you guys think about what we do in this factory, in this factory right. We all work together to make tires. That's what we do. That's what we get paid to do. So let's continue to do that and do the right thing and keep this place what it has always been, a good place to work. The speaker does not specifically mention President Donald Trump's Make America Great Again slogan, but only says political messages are not allowed. Trump tweeted Wednesday about the single image that was leaked, urging people not to buy Goodyear tires, citing their ban on MAGA hats. The company says the slogan or message that falls outside of the scope of racial justice or equity issues is not allowed in the workplace. Interesting. 800-859-0957. Let's go to John in Commerce Township. Good morning, John.
Hey, Chris. Good morning. How you doing?
Good. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm not actually. I'm here in Commerce. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, sorry, I was on speaker. I'm not actually from Michigan. I'm here visiting. I'm from the East Coast. My wife's family is here in Michigan, so we're just here visiting for a couple weeks.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Two items. First item is the sports announcer. I don't know who this guy is. I've never heard of him. But whatever happened to freedom of speech? I mean, godly, okay, he said something that offended a tiny group of people in our country, and he loses his job because of that. I mean, the media and everybody, our society is normalizing the abnormal. I mean, this is an abnormal lifestyle. Let's be honest here. It's an abnormal lifestyle.
Okay, but all right, John, and I, okay, that's fine. But also at the same time, I mean, you shouldn't say that. And in the context he said it, he shouldn't have said it. And it's
well, he shouldn't have said it. Fine, he shouldn't have said it. But why should he lose his job over it? I mean, that's crazy.
Well, all right. I mean, fair enough. But no, I don't agree with you. I don't think that we have a place for that in any workplace.
Right?
No. I don't think you should be allowed to go around your job and say that. No, I don't.
Well, I agree. Maybe that wasn't the right place to say it. I agree. Fine.
I don't think there's ever really a right place to say it. And look, I don't know that we're going to totally agree here, but I'm just saying that I don't think that he should have said it. I don't think anybody should say it. And look, there should be repercussions from it. John, I appreciate the call. Thank you. But I just feel like at some point, no, you got to be held accountable. Let's go to Don in West Bloomfield. Don, good morning.
I think the 1971 federal election law that decides that some people are not credible and not viable due to lack of funds or lack of bribes or lack of incorporation is outdated. We've had the internet mature, and we could qualify candidates according to the job descriptions in the U.S. Constitution. That's all I want to say is let's go to the Constitution, and let's just not make it an exclusive form based on how much money do you have.
What are you referring to?
I'm referring to the federal election law of 1971 that sets up the Federal Election Commission that's in charge of disqualifying candidates unless they can prove they have money, they take bribes, and they're incorporated.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Finance.
Yeah. You're just saying too much money and dirty money flowing into campaigns.
And it's a law. It's a law that usurps the Constitution.
Right.
These two private corporations decide that just people don't exist and can't have rights and voice. If we go to jail, we're advocating constitutional republic.
Yeah. All right, John, thank you for the call. Appreciate the thoughts. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Mike and Warren. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, I just want to go back a couple of calls. Your one caller was talking about President Trump, and the group QAnon, or however you pronounce it, about conspiracy theories.
Uh-huh.
I got to tell you, Chris, if the FBI and the DOJ if they've fired 25 people related to the investigation into Trump, I think President Trump is warranted to be very suspicious of what's going on around him. And then the caller went on to say that Trump hasn't taught what's in his health care plan. You and I both remember Nancy Pelosi saying you got to pass it to find out what's in it. So that's a hypocritical comment.
Yep.
And one last thing, Chris, I didn't hear any of the controversy related to the sports announcer, but in your business that you're in, you got to be very careful because you think this guy should be gone, but down the road, a word that you use may be deemed to be politically unacceptable, and they could go after you.
Sure, of course.
The words are changing all the time. What's acceptable this minute is gone the next, and then you could be gone.
Well, okay, but I mean, we got to change with the times here a little bit. I mean, a little bit. I'm not. Look, it's not something that should be said. It's not something that should ever be said in any form.
Hey,
And
Chris, I don't disagree there, but the language changes so frequently, and they're the ones in charge of it. Sooner or later, you'll fall victim to it yourself.
well, I hope that's not the case. I mean, I try to be on the up and up, but thank you, Mike. I appreciate
They're controlling the language, Chris. They're controlling the language. You're not.
All right. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the call. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJ. All right. So we got convention number 4 tonight, night 4. Again, I'll watch it for you so we can you come back tomorrow. You don't have to watch it. You can enjoy a nice dinner and some wine with your lovely significant other, or you can watch some whatever you'd like to tune into tonight. I'll watch it for you, and I'll update you tomorrow on what we got. But look, Biden's talking tonight. And look, for me, it better be live. He better be live tonight. We will see. All right. Thank you very much. We will be back with you tomorrow, 9 to noon here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Chris Renwick filling in. And at 11:57, off to the roadways we go with Dana Clark.
Traffic first sponsor. Chevrolet, where you not only pick your payments,
Chris, good job.
Thank you, David. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in again. Appreciate it. And we will talk to everybody tomorrow.
Try to get some sleep tonight, okay?
All right, guys. See you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Still watching an earlier crash into